Nobody knows I got that kung fu. Split a bitch in half with the corner of my shoe. I got that chop, uppercuts to the butts, I'm impossible to stop. You know I throw those kicks, but my secret weapon is my kung fu dick. I got that kung fu dick, kung fu dick. I'll be swinging that shit. Oh yeah, fuck it. Flip kick with this dick. Get it up like a bitch with my kung fu dick. Oh yeah, yeah. I slap that shit like I'm E. Honda. My fighting stance is an anaconda. I rain the pain with the main train, to maim and shame like I'm Luke Kane. You think you're tough, but you ain't got shit. Now kneel down before my kung fu dick. Ah, yeah, the way of the dick. I got that kung fu dick, kung fu dick. I'll be swinging that shit. Oh, yeah, fuck it. Flip kick with this dick. Get it up like a bitch with my kung fu dick. Oh, yeah, yeah. Kung fu dick. Oh, yeah, yeah. Kung fu dick. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. He comes from the ocean like a hurricane, sets the ground in motion, bitch, you're gonna feel the pain. He swings that pimp hand that knocks bitch sitting down. He's the boxer king of pimps, said he doesn't fuck around. He's Pimzilla, and he wants his motherfucking money. Money, money. He's Pimzilla. Yeah, yeah, motherfucker. Wall Street was a greedy bitch. They kept Pimzilla's cash, and he's come time to collect every dime from that sweet ass. He laid his tail down to block that bitch ass path, and cut slap like a cyclone with hellfire pimp hand aftermath. Oh yeah, he's Pimzilla, and he wants his motherfucking money. Money, money. He's Pimzilla. Oh yeah, yeah, motherfucker. Call the Coast Guard, they call the Navy, they call the Army, and some screw bitch named Gravy. Pimzilla through fire like a powerful high. They Wall Street expired like a squirrel hits a tide. But the people thought he was heaven sent, as he digested the world's 1%. Oh yeah, yeah, motherfucker. Oh, he's Pimzilla, and he wants his motherfucking money. Money, money. He's Pimzilla. Oh yeah, yeah, motherfucker. He's Pimzilla, and he wants his motherfucking money. Money, money. He's Pimzilla. Oh yeah, yeah,
Motherfucker, what's going on, y'all? Motherfucking money, and he wants his motherfucking money. What's cracking up now, Dickers? Yeah, let's get it on and popping, y'all. Whew, Sunday afternoon, Lord's Day, but we're gonna spend it looking at Dickers. I don't know if Jesus would approve, but it's what we're doing right now. It's definitely what we're doing right now. We are going to milk the cows. How's everybody doing right now on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. It is gorgeous down here in Florida. I just have to say that. I know I'm doxing myself. Everyone pretty much knows I live near the beach in Florida, and today it is beautiful. In fact, I put up this stream earlier today. I made the link and everything. Meerkat made me the thumbnail. Shout out Meerkat for the thumbnail. And I went around driving this morning. I took the 911 out driving this morning. Loved it as usual. There wasn't many cars out. It was a nice early morning chill because I got up to go to the gym probably like around 6:30, and that's when I had the car here because someone's coming to look at it because I don't know if I told y'all this, but I am selling it. So I've been wanting to just take it out every once in a while whenever I can, get the opportunity to. Yeah, Enrico it definitely last night it felt like it was 70 degrees outside. It was great. And today, having to do the show on Dickers, I've already said that I'd do it for everybody. So I was like, I can't flake. I can't just come and make up a bullshit excuse. Me like, oh, guys, I think I'm just going to dip out. Even though I don't think we're going to have many here. And I don't know if I'm going to do the entire doc. And I don't know when or if Rich will come on the stream or if I'm going to go on his stream or whatever. We'll just play all of that by ear. But for right now, let's see who's in the chat with us. Boba the Fat. Oh, beautiful in Tennessee last night. That's nice. My sister lives up near Knoxville. Master of the TDS, what's happening, brother? Checks to what's happening, y'all? Volpes Argentinian, just do segments. I was thinking about doing that. I don't want to clamp down. Most of all the larger streams, especially Review Tech himself, he's doing like the main react because it's about him. Meerkat's doing a great one too. He's got like over 1,000 in his chat right now. Poetic Silence, what's going on? Hot up in Texas doing some yard work. Hell yeah, brother. I did that shit earlier this morning before I left out to go to the gym. And there's something about early morning yard work that just gets you in tune with nature. But Master Goa, what's going on? Who else? Bug Mechanics. Captain, what's happening? Toad in the chat. Nomadic Gaming, Gummy Bear, Rebound, The Wasted Spider, what's going on? Oh, Ivana, what's happening? Sunday with a bottle of whiskey, what's happening? To me and to the chat, what is going on? We are having fun with cows that are milking themselves and turning themselves into crack pipes. Official Nawis, what's going on? And who was it that said earlier? Oh yeah, Omega. I was surprised at this. Wendigoon actually made a video about Chiquita and their history with terrorism. And I did a quick scan through it because I just was alerted by this at 11:24. And shout out Omega Tau, by the way. Appreciate that. I scanned through it and I got to the very part where the FARC and my dad would have been. And he mentions AUC, which is the right-wing paramilitary group that was formed in contrast to not only FARC, but a lot of the cartel. I don't remember if they did work with Pablo. They could have, they could not have. But he didn't mention the FARC. He mentioned them as a left-wing communist group that would control Colombia at that particular time. And I understand, going on the AUC side of it, it's very interesting, but it keeps it has to do mainly with Colombians. My dad and the 5 other guys that were missionaries that were killed back in the murdered and tortured and killed back in the 90s, they were the only U.S. citizens that actually that happened to. And there's another citizen that was the pilot, Mr. Janis. He was part of the Stansel and Mark Gonzalez group when they went down in the plane. Now, their rescue and them spending 5 years in the jungle is a story in and of itself. So I think I might get in touch with him just to see maybe if he would like to hear that side of the story. You know, I'd like to tell him about my dad and what, you know, because I have the actual court case that he referenced in there. That was my court case. It was broken up because you have the U.S. citizens and then you have citizens of another country. So they had to break that up into two. And on my side, on mine and my family side, we ended up having a confidential settlement with Chiquita, but that paved the way for us to have the larger settlement and win the lawsuit against the FARC. And that's just a long, long story. But I thought the video was good from what I saw. And, you know, if he's interested in hearing my side, a little bit more about that, not just about my my situation, but the history and kind of leading up to it, because I've been studying this for like the last 25 years. It's the weirdest thing someone like me would know, but I'm pretty well versed in 90s to mid 2000s Colombian terrorist organization, cartel organization, stuff like that. So again, shout out Omega for that. That was a really good catch. SBZ, what's happening? Driving to church right now. Feels like I'm listening to the radio. WAZZ. Waz coming at you real fast up your ass. I need to do a little bit better spot for that. Some people have said that my voice did sound like a little bit of a radio guy, but I don't hear it. Ryu Chaos. What's going on, brother? Master Gawa. Pessimistic Otaku. Yo, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too. And we got Biblio Harris up. What are we grilling tonight? I'm doing steaks later on. I've got two that it's really, it's mad you asking that, and I was doing that earlier. Pulled out 2 fillets earlier. They're on the counter right now, defrosting. They should be ready for a little later on tonight. My girl's out of the house right now. She probably won't be back until about 4 or 5, so I'm not even worried about heating up cooking anything until after 6 o'clock probably. So whatever. Oh, Graybox, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. I don't hear it in like when I listen to myself talk, I don't, to me, I sound nasally, slow, tripping over my words a little bit. I have one of those kind of voices that is, you could tell my emotion from my voice a lot of times. I was great on the phone as a salesperson. But as doing a YouTuber, being a streamer, I've got a long way to go, bro. I'm fucking telling you, man. Reading a book on the potty training in 3 days for reading a book on potty. I thought you were like reading a book on pot. Oh my God, for your twins. Well, that's cool. Anybody have any pointers for Ryu Chaos about potty training twins? Oh my God, twins. Jesus Christ. That is a job right there. P. Martin, what's going on? Well, I guess we should go ahead and start. Let me get to what we were going to be looking at. Not the fill. There we go. There's our pal Dickers. And, you know, people have asked me, what do I think of this rich situation? And I'll say that this is the entertainment business. If he's done anything, and this is what me and Gundam had talked about when the show was going on. And I don't know if y'all remember, but we did have Rich on. I think it was once or twice, but it was a very just off the cuff thing. He wasn't scheduled to be on. I never got around to scheduling him to be a guest, but he was on the list. The only reason why I didn't pursue it at the time was because we didn't understand what was going on between him and Jay. And since I had reached out to Jay on behalf of Gundam to do editing, I thought it was a weird look for us to bring on Rich or talk about the situation just because Gundam never did business with Jay or anything like that. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. But I just wanted to keep it professional, and I didn't really understand how deep this this drama was going to go. At first, I thought it was like, oh, Rich is firing someone. They'll probably get back to back to work, and these people like this have these spats all the time, But Rich, it seems like Rich is done with YouTube, or done with this version of YouTube, what he's set up for himself over this decade, and he wants to change it. That's why he's producing beats and trying to do new type of content. And I hope I do get to talk to him, because I've got a couple questions, and I've got a couple of pointers, and maybe some critiques that he can take from me, just as someone looking on the outside in, doesn't really have any skin in the game either which way. Weird stuff like the keyloggers that were on the PC. I'd like to know if that was real or not. I understand his explanation about the Dropbox pictures with his ex's girls. I guess those are not his children, so they would be kind of, I guess, old stepchildren or ex stepchildren. And I can get that accounts can be synced and things can go this way or the other. And I even understand that Google Fish would send those weird pictures to him all the time. I just don't understand why he sent, knowing him and knowing how well versed he is in consumer electronics and just in computers in general, why he didn't wipe that computer before he sent it to Jay. He must have known that Jay was going to be, looking through it. Was it an oversight? These are things like I'd like to ask, because if he was, getting too high to remember to reset this, or he just didn't ever think that Jay would turn on him, that's either way. It's not a good look. It's not a good look either which way. You can downplay it from every which way, but it's just not a good look. And yeah, and Nacho Cheese, it was a little bit, it was almost like getting out in front of it, the story a little bit. And it could be perceived in both ways. Perceived as in, oh, I don't want to have misinformation get out. Let me just explain it because it is weird and blah, blah, blah. And let me just bite the bullet and, be out there. And at least I'm 100% transparent. Or it's let me steer the narrative this way because I don't want it going that way. So, what's Streamlabs? Somebody said, I sent you a donation through Super Chat. Not sure. Oh, Streamlabs. Oh, thank you. I was actually just about to check Streamlabs and let everyone know that I do have the link up tonight. If you want to donate, link is at the top of the chat. Anything coming through, I really appreciate it. And everything goes to the betterment of this show, 100%. It's not going to go to a DoorDash or anything like that. I'm trying to cook dinner tonight anyway. Fuck some DoorDash. Oh, all right. Ivana with the dub. The big $20 with, I don't know what to say. Buy yourself a drink or whatever the fuck. Well, thank you. Thank you, Ivana. I don't drink, but I'll buy myself some greeny eenies that I'm prescribed to. Because sometimes when I watch I don't get on to anybody about getting high and streaming. I think you do yourself a disservice when you get so high that you're not entertaining and you're just sitting here like a bump on a log. No one wants to listen to that. And even the person giving that content out would not want to listen to themselves. So I don't understand why someone would want to get extremely high to the point that they don't know what they're doing or they just don't care what they're doing. Before I got on this mic, about an hour or so ago, I smoked about half a joint. You know what? That's what I did. Then I came in here, I got everything ready. I had to get Lucy situated because I didn't know how long I would be in here for. And I had to go ahead and turn off, some alerts and stuff around the house that I don't want going off on Alexa in the middle of a stream. So just a few things to get set up. But, this was after I went to the gym. I didn't go to church this morning, but I did stop by. I had to sign up for something. We're doing a charity drive. but I didn't stay because I had things to do. I had to go get the 911 out, and I wanted to drive it a little bit and then make sure after this, have it ready tomorrow when the guy's going to come by and check it out. But anyways, thank you, Ivana. I really appreciate that. That is so fucking awesome. And the vest goal, yes, the vest is the best. Which vest is the best? Terabit, yo, some after content. Hell yeah. Well, I'm trying to give it to you. Even though it's coming a little bit rough and crazy today, a little bit rough and crooked, we're getting there. Thank you, Ivana. I appreciate that. Nomadic Gaming, what's happening? Big ups in the chat for Karma catching up to Mama Susan late to save YouTube, sadly. Yeah, if people haven't heard, Mama Susan passed away from cancer, believe last night or yesterday. You know, RIP. Sad to see anyone go. And I'm sure she left YouTube back in 22 knowing that she had cancer, maybe that she was terminal, and then also having to know that her son died from an overdose of fentanyl. That's horrible. She ruined YouTube for the worse and put it on a path to just become a homogenized television. But she's still a person, and she was a mom, and I don't like getting down on people like that. So RIP to Susan. You know, it goes to show you can have hundreds of millions of dollars. You could be on the ground floor of the most groundbreaking app to ever be designed in human history. But at the very end, what do you have? I think her husband was there with her, friends and family, probably, but she had more money than any person in this chat would ever think about having. And in the end, it all comes for us. But don't want to get too melancholy. We will say RIP to Susan, and let's use her app today in her name. Anyways, let's go ahead and start the review of Review Tech USA. June the King. I know of June the King. I've been on one of his documentaries before, the one on Keemstar. I had like a 5-minute interview part on that. We had June scheduled for an interview when quality content was still going on. That was supposed to be right after the DSP doc, which would be in a month or so. And I might have set him up for this as well. But when quality content ended, you know, I called and let him know, and he let me know that he wasn't going to do any interviews for the DSP video, the DSP documentary now, if it wasn't going to be with Gundam. So, you know, that sucks, but it's the way it rolls. You know what I'm saying? So, right now he's got 6,600 viewers on this premiere.
Both ends of the emotional spectrum play against him.
Because you're dumb, and your kids will be dumb. You don't come to a stream for someone else's baggage.
I'm not going to be pausing today. I'm going to just be hitting with the mute. If there's something important, I'll swing it on back.
Channel, which previously released highly relevant, low-effort videos taking service-level glances at gaming news or subjects parallel to gaming. Though this is no longer the case. Now, Rich's focus is on streaming and producing music to little avail. He's either too subdued by intoxicants, where dead air and awkward pauses fill his streams, or sober and anxious, lashing out at those he feels have wronged him, like his former editor, Jay.
You're the sidekick everywhere you go. You couldn't cut it. That's why you became my editor.
Rich's self-destruction has also unearthed a history of doxing. Poor research that at one point had the former president of Sony call him stupid, and a history of lies and drama that were almost forgotten, but are coming back to form a rich history of failure.
Whoa, June's on the case, baby.
In late 2009, a channel named Review Tech USA began uploading. This was Rich Masucci's, an American man with a tech background.
This is what I like about June's content. You know, I like the way he structures a documentary. It's different than anyone else. It's kind of set up like a true crime kind of vibe, but with YouTube lolcows. It's very distinctive. You know a June the King video documentary when you're watching it. It's great. His branding's on point. Just want to throw that in.
Second attempt at YouTube. Uploaded was video after video of video game consoles spanning virtually all console generations, from the Atari 2600 to the then modern.
Nomadic Gaming, June's a decent content creator. I like him better than Turkey Tom for sure. Yes, I like him better than Tom. Tom's a little bit too bland for me, a little bit too dry. I'm pretty sure that he's not a big fan of mine either, because that's another Diorio buddy. So, but yes, I don't watch a Tom documentary unless I am looking for a specific piece of information. It drags and it doesn't. I'm looking for something that's a little bit more entertaining, engaging, even comedic. You know, I'm not looking for a book report. And I think essays on drama are weird because it's drama. Like it could last for a few months. It could last for a few days. If you're doing an essay on a specific topic, a lot of the times you know that this is going to be more of an evergreen video. You're not looking for it to pop. But these long 2-hour essays on drama where they're just reading out tweets or long blocks of text all the time, it doesn't hold my attention. And maybe that's just me, but I think I've watched enough of these to know what the audience is going to draw towards. And Tom's a great content creator. Don't get me wrong. Great editing. And I don't know if he has, I think he has editors. I'm pretty sure he didn't do it all himself. The writing's on point. It's just a little too dry for me, a little bit too book reporty. Oh, what's up, Loomy?
These were off the cuff, simple overviews of the consoles where Rich,
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Often interjected his own stories with the devices. The same could be said about his other videos that range widely on topics. This one was playing into a stereotype.
Tom's video on DSP was too fence setter, you know. And like I said before, it's a book report. Like if you wanted to read a Wikipedia article on Phil, it would probably look more or less like a Turkey Tom video put to sound in video, you know. There's just no, like, you know, the difference of when you would watch like a Gundam video on DSP. You know, you're not going to get specific down to the detail. This is what he said. This is what, you know, quotations. Let's cite every single thing. No, it's the general feeling of the joke. Because it just, like I said, it just seems weird to report on lolcows like you would, you know, a politician. Loomy, doing well myself. Went to the Renaissance Fair yesterday and knocked out as soon as I got home. You went to the Renaissance Fair? That's pretty cool. Back in the day, I used to go with my mom because she used to make these wands for little girls that were being princesses, and they would have, you know, they would sell them out in the market, the farmer's market kind of deal. And she would have me along because I would have to take these big ass boxes of fucking wands, little kids' wands, from the van back to the booth and back and forth and back and forth. So, oh, your first time going? It's crazy. Some of those people, they really play the part, and they don't break character. Captain, yes, he's going on Kino Casino. They're having a night stream though.
That women enjoy being on the phone longer. This video, though titled Is Steve Jobs Dying, was really about Rich's experience with Apple products and the history of Apple. Those looking to find facts would scarcely find it on this channel. This could work to Rich's benefit. While he was not very keen, nor uniquely knowledgeable of the products he was reviewing, he was very opinionated and confident in what he was saying. This means he had much to say and many videos to make, evident by his catalog. And after about a year or so of content creation, his beliefs had become established. Rich was a fan of console gaming, believing it was superior because of its ease of access and affordability against PC's customizability that also lends to its complexity. Taking a side in this never-ending debate meant that his opinions resonated with those that preferred consoles, and those audience members would become easier fans of Rich. But the same could be said about the opposition, all of which could be found inhabiting the same tech space. Blackbuster Critic, or BBC for short, was a creator that pushed PC gaming over consoles.
I've never heard about this person
In late
before.
2010 eventually led to a light feud between the two, and an online debate hosted by the BBC.
So I'll let you have the post first, or the stand, or the soapbox, or whatever the hell you want to call it, and then we'll go from there.
What do you want me to talk about first?
State the case of why, PC gaming is superior for everybody.
After about an hour-long debate, Rich concedes.
I'll be the first to admit that he owned me.
All right.
I'm saying it. I'm the man right here saying it. So, you all have a good holiday. And I will, even though I am owned, I will still put this video up on my YouTube channel because they wouldn't be right of me not to do it. So, have a good one, man. It was great talking with you. And everyone.
While things were
See, that's the other thing. Whenever Rich does like a drama and it's proven that he's either 100% in the wrong or the optics are just wrong, for some odd reason, he will push the gas now rather than do exactly what this guy, what he did with this guy right here. I don't really understand why this is, maybe he calls him the N-word right after this or something. I don't know. But admitting or conceding to this person on a debate doesn't seem like something he would do today. And I just think that he's just not, he's saying it's not as focused as he was back then, even if you could call, being this way focused. And the other thing, and people ask me like, how do I start a YouTube channel? What do I need to have to start a YouTube channel? And it doesn't, well, I always tell people, it doesn't really matter about gear or who you know or anything like that. There's a few things that you really need to have in order to be, at least have the opportunity to be successful on YouTube. One of them is either have good voice, good face, camera ready. If you're camera ready, you're halfway home. The other thing is having a niche where you yourself can shine. And the last thing is to be entertaining and to know that this is the entertainment business. This isn't, you're not a cop, right? Some people get it confused when they're doing YouTube. They think that they're like investigators or something like that. The only people I would actually give that kind of mantle to would be like your CoffeeZillas. There's a few others that do like professional grade investigations with money and talent and team behind it. But for the most part, everyone here is an entertaining host. So being entertaining is the number one secret to being, at least having the opportunity to be successful on YouTube. There's a lot of other things that you have to do, and there's a lot of other just luck that's involved with it. Let's be real. But yeah, Tiger King brings up a very good one. Some people should not be on camera. Some people should shave to be on camera. You're right. Me, I've been on camera before. I don't really like it because it's another dynamic that I have to control here on the table, especially when I'm streaming. Having the idea of using a VTuber came from Gundam, but I like that idea because I can interact with that VTuber more in the digital space and have it fun and exciting. I'm not trying to make my face go viral. But, oh yeah, make sure the audio is not trash. That's like the biggest thing. Audio is much more important than any kind of 4K picture quality cam setting that you can do. Believe me, because people will turn off a video in a heartbeat if it sounds like, I gotta do that. I gotta make it hard. I gotta do that really hard just to make it sound bad, because I put all of my effort into making this setup with my voice the best it can be. And then you could use a webcam, and most people, they'll listen to it in their car. If you're entertaining enough, no one even needs to see you. I don't know why I'm talking about all this. We're supposed to be watching this fucking video, and I'm talking about this shit.
cordial between BBC and Rich, they were not exactly friendly. At least not in the same sense of the channels that were promoting Rich's channel on their own YouTube pages like 3 Kilobytes, specifically Mike and Jay.
And I'm Jason for 3 Kilobytes. My last name is Hoof, and I like to build houses in Minecraft.
Whenever Rich hit a milestone, like a subscriber goal or obtaining YouTube partnership, which meant he could earn ad revenue from his YouTube videos, he made sure to thank these channels.
They've helped me out big time, especially Jay. I communicate with him the most, and thank you so much, man. Honestly, the reason I hit 1,000 subs, the second half of it is mostly due to his help. And of course, as many of you know, because probably like 80% of the subscriptions have been from them, is 3 Kilobytes. All of them, of course, but especially Jay and Mike. Honestly, my channel is where it is because of what Jay, Mike, and Kat have done to promote me.
By 2011, things
Okay, Ivana, let's talk about that. Was thinking about doing book content channel and calling it "This Bitch Can't Read." That's a good video series name, but I wouldn't name your channel that because the algorithm will flush you. Because even if you're trying to hide the word bitch, it's gonna flush you because it knows the difference. But you could try using a different word that is more branding wise. You know, this, I don't want to say like stuff like this skank, or, you know, because that's offensive. That's not really what you're going for. You're looking for a playful kind of like this troublemaker, but in a, you know, this thought, this you know what I'm saying, this mean girl, shit like that, right? So doing, I guess when you mean book content, like reading book, like if you're voicing it out, that seems good. What you're talking about with the animations is not actually that hard. What you would do is you would find someone to do like a repetition, a 30-second kind of video that has different stuff that could just draw people's eyes while you're doing the reading and stuff like that. But just making it, branding it so when people know your voice or know, you know, just a little piece of what you're doing, they know exactly that it's you. That's one of the best things to have. It's like tough branding.
Things were going well for Rich. Not only was he earning some revenue from his channel, he was remaining somewhat consistent and fair with his losses, going as far to release a video titled "I Can't Defend Consoles Anymore."
Right now, folks, I know a lot of people are going to jump below and write comments saying they can't build a PC, or it's too hard, or it's too technical. No, it's not.
This was inspired by the infamous hacking of the PlayStation Network that effectively brought the online services down for months. Though he did not abandon the videos on the debate, as this was still one of the largest draws of his channel.
Girl.
These were alongside clickbait videos that were presented outwardly as his research, to then be revealed that Rich was reading from a singular article while interjecting some of his opinions. His channel covered a wide range of topics, now even adapting the commentary tropes of the time, like commentary over footage of an
by the
unrelated
way,
game. Because of the undistilled nature of this channel, his views were hardly consistent. Most videos.
One easy thing that you could do, if you know you have a PC and everything like that, no problem. Go and get you a small Stream Deck and load in sound clips. Don't go overboard like how Rich and Keem do it, but just like when you're reading, have a beat track. Like whenever I'm talking and I have this in the background, and you just want to have it just enough to where people can, they know it's playing in the background, but it's not so distracting that they're listening to the song and not what you're saying. Just more of you're talking in the tempo of the beat that's playing. That's a little bit too loud if you ask me, but so you can keep tempo reading what you need to read on the book. Blah 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 blah. Bing 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 bing.
Videos hovered around 5,000, but some reached hundreds of thousands of views. With Rich increasing his output to now nearly a video a day in late 2012, his views were slowly but surely starting to pick up. Being that he did a face reveal that same year meant
I
that in
should pay
2013
for.
he did not shy
This is
away
just
from
a side
creating
note. I should pay
that
for
Butch
Social Blade
his views.
Premium.
With
Because if
Rich
they go
increasing his
back
output
to 2011 with stats, if this is not just like a generated asset, but I don't see how they could get the metrics right though. But if they go back in time this far, whew, I need to get me some premium Social Blade.
But to now nearly a video a day in late 2012, his views were slowly but surely starting to pick up. Being that he did a face
all
reveal
good,
that
China.
same
We
year
just started.
meant that in 2013 he did not shy away from creating vlogs. But Rich was unsatisfied with the equipment he was using. The camera specifically was not HD and had a very low frame rate. And if he did make more vlog-style videos, he could negate the possibility of copyright claims that came from using gameplay footage. What Rich wanted was a new high-definition camera. This is what inspired the video, I Need Your Help, which has long since been removed from his channel, but archived third-party compilations that demonstrate how catastrophic not so much this video was, but the endless responses and poor handling of what should have been a simple situation.
Yes, I know I'm going to be called an e-beggar no matter what I say. But I'm doing this with a twist that no one else has done because I don't just want your friggin' money. I really don't. I honestly don't. What do I need? I need a camcorder for the show, straight up. Using gameplay footage, I'm constantly dealing with getting copyright claims on my videos.
Rich goes on to explain how he would avoid the title e-beggar by donating the $500, which is the amount he was seeking for the camcorder, a year after he receives the funds to a charity of his audience choice. What's more, if the donation goal is exceeded, he will refund any of that excess money. This is overly complicated, even for 2013 YouTube.
Yeah, that's I don't like. That's the other thing. Like when he did the, he said that he was going to give some money to charity. It's like $2,000 or something. I don't like when people make the if this then that I do charity type of stuff. Like if we hit this goal, then I'll give that. Like either do it or don't. You know, you can make content off of it. I'm not one of those people that say you can't make a video off giving people money for free. I mean, shit, you're giving people money for free. The least they can do is stand around on video. But the excessive rat trap of if it goes over the goal by this much, then the excess is given at this date. But if we don't make the goal, then only have, and it's like, no. Just give it or don't give it. We made the goal. We didn't make the goal, but everything's going. You know, why do you have to cross over, meet a threshold when it comes to charity? I don't understand. Yes, exactly like Mr. Beast. I'm not saying that it's a great look, but there are people that benefit from him giving away that money. You can't say that they don't benefit. They get money in hand. But it also creates this subculture that we have going on right now on YouTube that thinks that if you get involved with Mr. Beast in any sort of way, that it's your golden ticket to fame and stardom no matter what. You know, the Jake Weedle guy, he's got a legitimate claim because they tortured that little dude. And I'm pretty sure they probably used him too for his writing ability, his comedy skills. The other guy that it just came out the other day, the small YouTuber that says, oh, he stole my ideas and like that. Like, come on, bro. Like most of those ideas that they pitched, people have pitched 100 times before. And I don't even think that he was 100% on staff there. But Mr. Beast is guilty of it too with his excessive, like, charity giveaway, sweepstakes, this, that, and the other. You know, it just gets to the point where it's just like, what are you doing? Are you really trying to be charitable and help people out? Or is this 100% about all eyes on you? And not only all eyes on you, is you're trying to like finagle the financials. And that's just a bad look all the time.
But that was less accepting of creators petitioning for money or earning it through sponsorships. the depths that Rich was going to just avoid being called an e-beggar, something only the smallest sections of his audience would
Yeah,
even
you're
care
right,
about,
Tiger King.
exposed that as
Hughes
an
was one of the only
insecurity
people
and
that would
point
just
that he
do
could easily
charity.
be pressured
I'm
by,
donating 50
easily
grand.
trolled
Boom.
from.
Done.
The only people that pissed me off, even though I expected it, is when people said they donated, and I would see like the same small group of trolls like going around and attacking people.
It did not take long for Rich to get that money via donations. He even bought a cheaper camera that was about $140.
Oh yeah, Beast is. I mean, then think about this. Think about the kids that are growing up watching Beast, and how if they just so happen to like stalk him enough and find him enough, then they'll figure out a way, you know, to make their lifelong dream of being a YouTuber, which is the weirdest thing in the world, is kids wanting to be YouTubers in 2024. It's like the curtain has been pulled back so much on this profession, and I use profession in quotation marks. But let's just say you're into it deep enough to where you could be considered like a content creator, someone that does sponsored time, you know, where your content is so valuable that brands would want to pay you to put their names in your video in just a very small window. You get to that part, you are part of the profession of content creation, of, you know, media creation, entertainment business. But it's not, you know, just because you got a link put some specific place. You might get a lot of subs off of it, but subs aren't views. Subs are just links. Subs are basically suggestions to the viewer if they want to watch your content. Because most of the time, if you're just kind of like, I subbed to this guy because he was on this show and I thought he might be good, but he ended up not doing anything. It's like there's a lot of that going on around. It's just putting in the work and getting the views. It's all about views. Subs don't mean a shit. I've seen people that's got less than 10,000 subs and they're pulling fucking 25,000 live concurrent viewers. Subs don't mean shit.
Less than expected. But he made the mistake of addressing the trolls and the BBC.
So I went out and
I need
bought
to stop pausing this shit.
a new tool. A Sony HDR 260V. And let me tell you right now, it is a phenomenal camera. And I bought this with my own money. How about that?
That was the Blackbuster critic. While he did not mention Rich or Review Tech USA by name, he did expose the criticisms that he knew bothered Rich. This was bait, and Rich readily took it.
It's your old buddy Rich from Review Tech USA,
He
or
loves taking that
Review
bait.
Bag USA. You've had some colorful things to say about me. Let's just do it the good old-fashioned way and debate it live on Skype and see how it goes. The offer is on the table, buddy. Hopefully you accept.
Not only did Rich flub this situation by taking the bait, he also challenged the BBC to a debate, which the BBC readily accepted.
What I said could be applied to a lot of people. But this one particular person personally came to my video and was talking trash. And if you want to come out and Skype me and debate like you say you do, and I know plenty of things, plenty of questions to ask you, which you're going to goof up on. Just like in our last debate, how I led you by the hand like a child encountering your own points, that's what's going to happen again.
This debate did not come as Rich failed to show, but he did release a video showing that he did purchase the camcorder and did not pocket the donations. While the BBC continued to respond, what was more important was that Rich's responses and continually addressing this drama was inviting more and more trolls that Rich was responding to.
Hopmaster Flex, everyone out there who's deeply concerned about what I'm doing, you need to, don't go into the whole thing, oh, I'm trolling, I'm just mind messing with you. You personally messaged me, told me to calm down. It's flattering, bro, it really is.
Yeah, poetic silence. Kids nowadays don't want a respectable job. Influencers have shown kids that a crazy life is where the fun is. Yeah. And that's it. Sometimes they don't understand that this is still the entertainment business. So even though you might be watching something that's like totally wild and crazy, there's a good chance that it might be fake. Now, if it's not fake, if it actually is genuine, then you're dealing with an uncontrollable situation. So, double-edged sword. But it takes work to make a living doing YouTube. It takes an insane amount of work up front. I've seen lots of guys that I've found, you know, kind of, I guess you would say, discovered when they were in the less than 10,000 subs, like John Swan. That's one that I remember when I saw his Minecraft documentary. Documentary was popping off, had like 20, 30,000 views on it, whatever. But it was just the way the documentary was put together, the care. You could actually say this was a 100% legitimate documentary that I could take to Hulu or Netflix and shop it around. Not saying they'd buy it, but it was in that ballpark. So he was a triple threat: edit, speak, camera. You know, do it with Gundam. Gundam doesn't have camera, but Gundam has comedy / music, and he's a lead singer. So while he had a different set of skills, they were actually better than John Swan when you're talking about being a host. He was readily made for it. And since he didn't make any money from like when he started in 2017 to 2021, that's 4 years of him just barely making it by. I mean, I know y'all remember all the jokes about canned tuna and all, you know, that stuff. After the pandemic came and went, you might hear those kind of jokes, but he's not eating canned tuna anymore, I assure you. But my point is, it took him 4 years of plugging away and, you know, networking. He met me, he met other people, he upped his game, you know. Once you got to be there. You have to be there to catch the ball. You know, you can't be pissed off that you never won the big game if you were never on the field.
I'm glad, you know, just make a video once in a while proving that you have a life and put a woman in your thumbnail, and we'll all be impressed by what you do.
Even the videos
Gundam has
showing the
super
receipts for the
duper
donations
charisma.
were directed towards his trolls rather than his supporters.
All I can say is I'll never
It's
do it
just
again.
his
I mean, I hope this proves now that I wasn't trying to,
He's
you
always
know,
too depressive
scam anybody
on
or
the
do
outlook.
anything
There's no
under the
optimism.
table or be unethical. And for everyone out there who's going to go into the whole thing now, that
and I don't know if anyone's ever worked with someone that is like a super depressive, no matter. And the worst is like when you're doing good, when you're like, oh, we're doing great. You know, numbers are up, money is up, views are up, just like everything, not being an analytics whore or anything, but like all numbers and everything was just up, up, up. And they just seemed like the more it got up, 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 the more depressed he got. So it's like, what are we doing here? You know? He might even mention, he might say, I called a meeting at the very end talking to Josh. No, I called the meeting. I don't own the show, but I was treating it as I owned it because I cared enough about it. I was willing to put in that work. But some people nowadays, they want it now. They want it now because they see other people that get it now. There are people out there that win the social media lottery. And they'll have a catchphrase like catch me outside or whatever. And then bam, it makes them $10 million. That happens. But that's like winning the lottery. You know, no one goes to schools and they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a lottery winner. That's basically what you're saying when you say you want to be a YouTube influencer.
I was just looking to get a tax break on my taxes. Do you really think I would? I didn't even think of that until after people said it. Do you really think I would have went through all this crap to save 30 or 40 bucks over a year from now?
It turned out that Rich owning this new camcorder and all the turmoil that Rich invited was for naught.
I like the gameplay footage better. It's more laid back, don't, but like 90% of people in the comment section were like, yeah, just, keep it gameplay footage and use the camera for other things with Review Tech USA. I'm like, oh, okay.
This information came from a video where Rich announced that YouTube was now his full-time
Rebound
job.
talking about, oh, no,
Though
he's the most cynical person in the room. I get it. You got to have that dude in your group because he's the one that's going to bring you down. If you're the guy that's too optimistic, that's too much heads in clouds, it's too much, oh, this is never going to, it'll never go bad, we'll always be good, we'll never come down. You need that yin to the yang. But you have to, when you're working in concert with other people, and they are working their hardest to make the best they can of the situation. And they see the person that owns it, that's the owner, that's supposed to be the North Star for the entire situation, not giving a fuck, you know, depressive. All the work that I might do gets shit on. So, you know, is it bad? Is it good? I don't know because the host is not into it, but the crowd's not into it, or they might be into it, or this and that. It's confusing signals, and it's just cucking content and working against, you know, your company.
Steadily for the past 3 years, it was not until now that his YouTube channel was outperforming his job in terms of pay. And with all his time placed in his channel, the results were immediate. Month after month, his views kept doubling as his output of videos increased like never before. Everything increased. His revenue, his views, and the trolls that increasingly targeted Rich.
Okay, real quick, below is my Real Review Tech USA Twitter account. I don't even really like Twitter, but what I found out in my YouTube comment section is someone made a fake Review Tech USA account and was going around saying very, very colorful things on Twitter.
That was only a minute-long video addressing...
My bad, Rob. I don't know what it is about me. I always have to come back to fucking business talk, financials, you know, brainstorming. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I know some people don't like me talking about that kind of stuff. Y'all are not all trying to be YouTubers or streamers or anything like that. My bad.
A fake Twitter account. But rants about his trolls kept seeping into videos that hardly needed to involve them.
You're the smartest person on the planet. Doesn't matter how well spoken you are, anything, you are going to deal with trolling, and it is going to get to you.
That was from his 100,000 subscriber thank you video. Discussion of trolls takes up about 1/3 of it.
Wasted Spider says, since quality content ended, Gundam's videos have been really low-key and lacking his usual energy. I haven't watched any just because I can't bear to watch them anymore. Some people have mentioned that. A couple people mentioned that they could kind of tell that my influence is not there anymore. I don't know if that's true or not. It probably, if I had to quantify that anyway, it would probably be a little bit less on stuff like, you know, hard number financial stuff, any kind of legal issues. It's stuff that's like more esoteric. You know, Gundam, he makes his videos, they're about comedy, they're about entertainment. They're not so much about informing, even though he has informative videos. But like I said, before I left, for that time period of like late April all the way up until I left, he was just more depressed than the most depressed I've seen him the entire time I've known him. And that would be like mid 2020 up until now. You know, there's lots of times where I would see him go on Friday Night Tights, and he would be making jokes about Minecrafting himself, you know, bubbling himself, but using the real word, like not bubble. This is not when he was using bubbling. You know, there were a few times where I had to tell him, I'm like, look, dude, you're going a little too far with this. Oh, I'm so depressed, I could off myself kind of routine. You know, it gets to the point where it's like, it's not funny anymore. It wraps back around where people start to get worried. You know, having people call me, not knowing me, asking about your well-being when I'm not supposed to even be on that level with you. It's just weird. And, you know, when it flipped and he thought he was getting back together with his band, then it was like, this live streaming shit is just beneath me kind of stuff. So, but I'm sorry, y'all. My bad.
And though Rich states that no one is infallible when it comes to trolling, only 2 minutes later he states that he is.
The why trolls don't get to me because I know exactly what their motivation is, and they're pathetic people.
The story Rich is telling is one of a troll that was going through hardship and was taking
6
the
more months,
frustration out
Nomadic
of Rich.
Gaming.
From this,
If he
he
would've given me
deduces
6 more
trolls are
months,
pathetic, unwittingly inviting
made
their
$250,000
company and
this
encouraging their existence.
Something constructive instead of, hanging out with your wife or girlfriend or family, or you just going out and doing something else. You think it's a better idea
The audience liked
to go on
quality
the internet
content.
to try to aggravate or piss off
He
or
didn't
insult
like it.
someone else.
But there's been a lot of people,
That's
more people than
the lamest excuse.
I'll sit here and blow myself all day long, but I'm not lying when I said people that I haven't talked to in years or might not like me said that they enjoyed the show just because it felt more real than some of the other podcasts. The banter between me and him and the guests that came on, that was a big thing about the show. When Gundam was on and when he was good with the guest, it was fucking gold. Gold. But I don't know. He didn't want to do it no more. I don't know what to tell y'all. He didn't want to do it no more.
I've ever heard. That's the most pathetic thing I've ever heard.
Not everyone that increases their output of content sees increases in adverse effects. But that was exactly what was going on with Review Tech USA still. More strong opinions, news stories that were not as accurate as they should have been, more reasons to dislike him.
Now, I will say,
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that, Gummy Bear Chris. Like that early in the show, I wouldn't have fucking played with that kind of stuff. The only thing I was worried about this early in the show is making sure we had people lined up, bookings for interviews. That was number one. Number two was having a docket that wasn't like, I didn't want a drama alert docket. I didn't want, a Turkey Tom docket or anyone else kind of docket. I wanted it to be irreverent, weird. Space Goes. I didn't be Space Goes, Yeah, Rebound. The show, I thought I know the show could have done better just because I criticized myself, but people have said to me that they really enjoyed it. And towards the end, you could tell that he didn't. And that sucks, but it is how it is. I love gold.
the issue I'm about to talk about was resolved, but it was after I screamed like a lunatic and was raging, and it shouldn't have been this way. I was not happy with the customer service I received, and that's why I'm making this video, and I gotta call him out on it.
This was the start of a series of videos that showcased how Rich was at the center of his problems, molding minor inconveniences into something larger, then directing them to his general audience who would typically diagnose Rich as the issue. In this video, Rich discusses an issue with the return of his graphics card, the GTX 770, to the vendor Newegg. Not because
Nomad, I got to push back on this. You were saying Psycho 216 was talking about Gundam and Kirsch, so damn good. And mind you, I didn't know who Kirsch was before I introduced myself, but I quickly learned who she was and learned she was a force. So that's only because Kirsch didn't give a fuck and will say shit Gundo is scared to, so he can play off of her being outrageously base, but otherwise she carried that show with him, sadly. The first show, she carried the show. She starred the show, right? It was amazing. The second show, and this is the thing, he didn't know how far he could go with her. He had never been in a call with her before. He didn't know really what she was all about. He knew she was, against all the fucking DEI, ESG shit, but still a woman, still got to fill it out. After the first show, though, like, she stole the show. Second show, I think that's when you could see the dynamic of them having a show and what it would be like. And somebody, the producer or whoever could just step back and let it ride. The first show was kind of like one of those surprises, like, oh my God, But the second show, you could see the rhythm.
There was anything wrong with it, but because he wanted a different card. A slight upgrade, which was the GTX 780. This is an extremely minor upgrade. Regardless, Rich went through with it and sent the card back, including
No,
a voucher
Cyber
for Arkham
Soldier.
Origins.
He
This
didn't-
rich
the
details
3 hours
was taped
that
to
it
the
took,
outside of the card box.
he didn't
not
want
the
to do it
shipping
anymore.
box. Being that it was still outside, there is a possibility that it was lost when unpackaged at Newegg. For this reason, Rich's refund was initially voided.
As soon as she said she was returning the item to me, I saw red. Okay, this is a $450 friggin' card that's being bounced all over the country, and I lost it. I started screaming, "This is fucking bullshit. Are you fucking kidding me? I've been a customer with Newegg for years, and I'm getting an item returned over a piece of paper. What, I thought everything was, what UPC code are you talking about? This is absolute bullshit. I can't believe I'm being treated like this." And the thing the whole time, she's like, "Listen, sir, I'm sorry. Listen, sir, I'm sorry. Listen, sir, I understand why you're upset, sir." While I'm screaming, which also irritated me, I'm like, "Stop talking over me."
Rich goes on to say he did not regret his outburst, and he did get that refund. And even though he got his way in the end, he still believes Newegg is majorly at fault.
The bottom line is that is not a way to treat a customer.
While Newegg did incorrectly void the return, it was Rich's demeanor and rage at a service employee that was not responsible for the mishap that displeased his audience. Additionally, this was
come
seen
on. I
as
don't-
boasting,
so what?
with
You
Rich
yelled at
likely
a-
seeing
at a
himself as someone who
customer
was
service
stalwart in the
person?
refund
Is
he
that it?
deserved, rather than tearing down an employee who was restricted from making an equally furious retort. Therefore, defenseless.
Whatever.
The top comment of this video reads, quote, "Don't lose it with frontline personnel. It's not their fault. They get paid a shitty wage to protect their supervisors and managers from the public. Rip into supervisors and managers by all means. That's different." Unquote. The majority of
Well, I mean,
comments
come
echo
on,
this
they could
sentiment,
be a manager,
while
they could
others
be
comment
assistant
about the
manager.
chaotic
It's
harvesting
good
of
for
dirt
them,
in
it's
the
not good
Minecraft
for these
footage
people.
being
I mean, come
played,
on.
likely because his brother was responsible for recording the footage. Rich then posted one of the longer negative responses
This
he
is a
got
little
onto
bit
his Facebook.
too.
Not once, but twice. This was only
Too
one of the
granular.
videos that was poorly received in October of 2013. The second was titled PS4/Xbox One Launch Disaster Imminent. Please share.
I got all of this information from very, very reliable sources.
Oh,
okay?
Knight's Oath. You don't even
I'm
know,
just gonna call
man.
them little
you don't
birds.
even know.
I can't.
Like, I found him probably around 19 or 20. We're talking about Gundam. I'm sorry, this will be the last thing I talk about. This Knight brought up a really big, a good issue. Yeah, he would say whatever he wanted to, and then after, he started getting demonetized, then he had to change it around and figure out a way to get the comedy across in a way that could get by YouTube. And that was stressful on him. But he did figure out a way to do it more or less, with the bleeping out the cursing, with making the uncensored version available on the members side. So that actually boosted his membership, having to learn, having to adjust, having to evolve that. But it's a good character trait to be like, oh, he's always behind the 8 ball. He's always the guy that gets, put upon. That's just our old Gundam. But it's when you really start believing that it becomes a problem. And when he would sit there and say stuff like, no, I'm here at YouTube. No one gives a fuck about it. I'm not doing anything. I'm like, bro, you make 6 figures. You're verified with an ad agency. When you lost your monetization last time, we all thought it was because of some nefarious thing that YouTube did, right? We'll come to find out it's because he does this weird thing where he uploads 3 versions of the video, or used to. He would upload 3 versions of the video that are exactly the same, except one would have cussing, one wouldn't have cussing. And maybe one would have, a part in it that didn't have. He would use his main YouTube channel as a server. And to YouTube, that just looked like spam content. Like he's just spamming the same video over and over and over again inside his unlisted folder, because they look at that just like the public folder. So once we figured out that's what the problem was, It was solved within like a couple of weeks. But him saying, oh, YouTube is specifically going after me, I always wanted to push back on that because I said, look, I understand that you make controversial content, bro, and you do say a few racy things, but you don't do anything, untoward. And also, you're not the worst one. And I've seen people that have been worse that still get millions of views, I don't understand why you think that a creator that gets less than, at this time, let's say 300, less than 300,000 views a video and doesn't bring any media attention when they put their videos out. I don't see how they even know who you are. I just think that these problems that he thinks are specifically like aimed at him, even though, he would say stuff to Drinker and Drinker would be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're dealing with all this. I've never heard of anyone having to deal with all this kind of stuff. Well, kind of because he did everything wrong in the beginning, So making money, trying to twist that, turn it around and make a little bit of money on the back end. And believe me, when we started quality content, all he was interested in was making a bag. He was like, dude, I want to make a bag. I want to be rich. I want to be a millionaire. That was his biggest thing. That's probably one of the reasons why he ended up working with me, just so he could say he worked with someone that is wealthy, which I don't really approve of, but whatever. If it's something that, makes you motivated to become, to get what you want, then whatever. We can work together. But just wanting it because you showed up, no, man. That's definitely like some DSP shit.
Can't even give you their gender. Because if you found out any information about them, or if a big company
he's
found out
always
any
been on
information,
like in the bag.
they
Like,
would be
don't get me
screwed.
wrong. Like, he's never been like, I don't want to let people know that I'm making money. I will say he doesn't take some sponsorships just because it would look bad. And I told him not to take the, y'all tell me this, because I want to see if this was a good choice, because I more or less talked him into this. He had a offer from BetterHelp to do an ad for them. Pretty involved ad. It was like a minute long. He had to talk. He had to go online and use their service. So it wasn't just like a, Morgan & Morgan canned ad. Like, he actually had to use the product. And they were going to pay pretty good. I think they were paying like anywhere from $7,000 to $8,000 for this 1 minute ad. And they were going to do two of them. So it was going to be like $15,000 for two ads. Or somewhere right around there. Don't quote me on the money. But it was big money. Much more than he would normally get. Just because BetterHelp has like a bad name when it comes to people that are known for speaking truth to their audience. And I told him that I thought it would be a bad look if he did an ad for BetterHelp. I said, Raid Shadow Legends is one thing. That's a funny meme thing. And you don't really have any other sponsors that are controversial. But you've made videos on BetterHelp. Look at Tiger King's failure to spin the fags. So y'all ask me, did I lead him correctly by saying stay away from this ad, even though it was great money? And he would have taken it. I think if I wouldn't have gotten into his ear, that he probably would have taken it. So one, if you think I did the right thing for him, I was looking out for him. Or two, do you think I fucked him up and I lost him a bag when it doesn't really matter? Better help, schmetter help. One, if you agree with me. Two, if Josh, you fucked up Gundam's bag when we knew you were a fucking idiot. What the hell? And give it to me straight too. And put a little bit of music on. BetterHelp. You know, imagine Gundam doing a commercial for BetterHelp. Yeah, I thought they were scammy. I thought that they were the thing that what's his face, Philip DeFranco got caught up on with those fake reviews and all kind of other online therapist shit. Like online therapy, talk therapy will work with anyone, but I do think that you need to be in the same room with someone when you're doing that kind of stuff, because there's too big an opportunity to hide when you're doing it online. Yeah, a couple of people. Okay, so I've got most people agree with me. Well, thank you. I win again. Sorry, y'all. I promise I won't pause it anymore.
And I will be screwed along with them.
Rich plays into how high profile his source is, and then breaks down all that he was told.
Well, I have some bad news for all the guys who were hating on the Xbox One, but it's going to be 720p on both the PS4 and Xbox One. So what are my thoughts on all this information? Well, I hope the sources that I have are wrong.
There were a few speculations in that video that were on the wilder side. Luckily, Rich got his wish granted. A user sent Rich's video to Shuei Yoshida on Twitter, then the unexpected happened. Yoshida, the president's son, responded with 2 words directed at Rich. So stupid. Besides being humiliated by the president of Sony, nothing much happened. Rich did warn of the possibility that the information may not be 100%, and his continued success overshadowed whatever negative attention he got. It took only 6 months after this for him to hit 200,000 subscribers. And like his 100,000 sub video, when discussing his channel,
y'all remember,
Rich talks quite a bit about
video could be
trolls and
demonetized
drama.
at this period.
Time, the discussion took up about half of the video.
Don't let the drama get to you, because once you go down that path of getting defensive and making videos defending your honor, quote unquote, you're down that slippery slope, and sometimes you can't get back up from it.
To direct entertainment in a way that reflects what the audience wants to see, rather than to vindicate the creator, is sage advice.
Don't make your personal problems become part of your channel. You can't, man. You gotta keep your personal problems up. And if you're having problems that you just don't feel like making a fucking video, don't make a video.
This is the safest route to content creation, but does Rich have the willpower or stability to follow through?
I took down the Patreon account, and many of you are going to wonder why. Some of you think I was trying to sweep it under the rug, which is another reason why I wanted to make this video, because no, here, this video is staying up and people will know that I had a Patreon campaign posted temporarily.
For a period, Rich had a Patreon active in 2014. Its purpose was to make his videos ad-free, but it vanished as
Psycho, we were just talking about if it was a good idea for me to advise Gundam to not take the BetterHelp sponsorship at around $8,000, because I thought it might be a little contradictory, especially since he had done videos in the past shitting on DeFranco and BetterHelp. You know, it's a little different than Raid Shadow Legends because it's not a game. It's a mental health service. So we just said 1 if you agreed, 2 if you thought I was not advising him correctly.
As quick as it went up.
The second reason, and this is honestly the straw that broke the camel's back, the second reason that I took down my Patreon account is the same people, advertisement videos, like say when I had an unboxing for Dollar Shave Club or Loot Crate, so on and so forth, were the same people who were also complaining about me doing the Patreon campaign. I do a YouTube commentary channel where I comment on news and talk about my opinions and have a fucking blast.
I don't know what you're talking about here, Boba. Pesk, it wasn't BetterHelp. Gundam now has Foom as a sponsor. He's advertising it because he believes in quitting bad habits and vices. For real, dude, just watch the first 30 seconds of the new. I mean, that's cool. That's a new video. I'm talking about like a year ago when they, when he was working with, I think it was LFM. It might have been the other one, Velocity. I forget his name. Leviathan. It might have been them, but I'm not talking about like something they did today or yesterday or something. I'm talking, this is like a year ago.
Doing it. And if that pisses you off, that either means one of two things. You're delusional or you're jealous. And if you are jealous, you need to get out of the house more.
This video was released only 6 months after his 200,000 subscriber video. It shows that the innocuous claims of e-begging still holds power over him. It also shows that, contrary to the new egg video, he is not stalwart in his beliefs or what he does. This was a major criticism as shown in the comments of this video. Quote, please never get involved in politics.
You gave me a loaner $5.
What a flip-flop. I am disappointed in you,
give you a
Rich.
loaner
I thought you were
$5
made of
back.
stronger stuff than this. Why take down your Patreon account? Because you're afraid of trolls? Newsflash, trolls will always exist. Unquote. On that same note, the following month, Rich released a similar video, a parody titled, A Review Tech USA Hater Tries to Do Gaming News.
Yo, what's going on, man? My name is Steve.
Nomadic Gaming, established titles, and BetterHelp are awful sponsors. At least Raid, you know it's a scummy deal because at least a shit mobile game, but everyone does it and they let you be somewhat edgy. Yes. And established titles was not Gundam's fault. They were vetted by LFM. They were said to be of reputable, of repute, have a good reputation. But I just think they didn't look closely enough. And I think it was the YouTuber Scott Schaefer that broke that one open. And I remember that when it first broke open, I told Gundam, I said, don't speak on it now. Let it breathe for a little bit just to see exactly what happens. But it ended up being a scam. So instead of addressing it in the video or taking any of the videos down, because you can't do that. You can't go back and take all their stuff down unless something specifically happens and you have to do it. And then most of the time that's legal because they've paid for that time. No matter if you don't like it or not, you can't take it away from them. So the established titles, that was discussed in just a community post. Because that's where Gundam puts stuff when he just wants to sweep it underneath the rug. That's the reason why, the post to me that says, thanks Josh for all you did. Thanks for all the money you made me, kind of stuff. He put it in a post because for some odd reason, he doesn't like to credit people. I mean, there's lots of videos that I did a great amount of work on that all I asked for was just like a credit in the description or maybe even like a small shout out in the video. I think it happened one time. He put my avatar picture at the end of a video, but with no context around it. So it was just a P with a circle around it, and that was it. And then his excuse is, oh, I was too busy, or I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first time being a YouTuber. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to make links. That kind of shit. I'm busy, I'm too busy. He's always fucking busy.
And I'm here to expose that fat fuck, that piece of shit, e-begging piece of shit, Review Tech USA, and expose him for the fucking bitch that he is. All right, so watch how easy it is to do news stories like that fat white Uncle Phil looking motherfucker does. Look, watch how easy it is. So I have an article right in front of me. Okay, this Blizzard donates World of Warcraft pet sales to Ubulu.
In the comments, Rich claims this was a parody for a different YouTuber. Being that Rich has shown himself to react poorly to his own troll.
That LFM was fairly large. They're the guy that owns it is Keemstar's attorney and his manager. And the year I got Gundam in there was like 21 to 22. It's great money. Super great money. And they had their entire creator roster bought out by Night Media, which is the management company and ad company created by Mr. Beast's former manager. What they did was they came in and they bought LFM's entire roster, which included Casanat, and put them underneath their umbrella. And LFM just kept Keem and maybe one or two other specific people for a boutique, representation. But yes, established titles goes to pretty much anyone out there that has a YouTube channel. That is correct. The thing is that these things go in like a cycle. So they might go to LFM and say, look, you know, do any of your creators, are they interested in doing an ad for us? And they says, yeah, they got a Gundam. Okay, what kind of price range, what kind of views is he pulling? Well, he's pull about 200,000 views a video. Okay, well, we'll give him $6,000 for a 1 minute ad. It's got to be after the first minute. It's got to have, you know, all these specific bullet points, you know, they want to have, and $6,000. And then LFM or, you know, whoever, Leviathan, they'll get 20%.
Made this video
20% off the top of that number, and the rest of it goes to Gundam, or to the person that, you know, that's making the video. But the trick of it is like, you're making a video for this ad, and let's say the video that you're making, you know, is not going to be that popular, but yet you have to have at least 200,000 views for this ad for them not to claw it back. Because if I was to say, oh, I can give you 200,000 views if you give me $6,000, and I only give you 150,000 views, well, guess what? The next video is on me. And you don't want to do that, because technically you just lost out on like $6,000.
seem in poor taste. The comments are either remarking Rich as brilliant or just childish for releasing this video. Quote, you say that don't give trolls what they want or just ignore the haters, and then you make this. I like your videos, but this was just pathetic. Unquote. This was on top.
Yeah, I don't want to bring it up either, Tiger King, but that was something that, you know, kind of put me over that I knew this was over with, because we specifically had that conversation. And I said, hey, what about putting my name and link to my channel in the top of the chat? You know, we're rotating everything. We do have the store one day, and then one day it's your Instagram or the chat, the thing, the clip channel or whatever. It's like, well, what about if I can put my, he said, no, I don't want to do that because my audience might not like you. And I don't want to lose my audience because they don't like you. And, you know, it's his channel. So I'm not going to sit there and be like a clout whore and be like, but I want it. No, I already had my name in the description, and that took fucking forever to get right. But I thought, well, you know, he's really bad at this. And anytime that you start pushing with Gundam, he shuts down for some reason, like a kid, like a little girl. So when he did that with Cecil, just like out of the blue, I'm like, well, then I know where I stand now. I know exactly who he is now. He's just like every other YouTuber that once they get that level where they know that they're pulling the audience, what they think is that if you're righteously helping out, like if you're in a show, in a collab with him, he feels slighted because it took him a long time to get these subscribers, get these viewers, and this person is just coming along and sitting on my coattails and getting them for free. That's what he thinks in his mind. He doesn't think, well, he was the only person that was here to help me do this when everyone else just kind of was like, whatever. He's the only person that's been doing this consistently every week and trying to make it better and better and better and better. But you don't see none of that. All he sees is he's stealing my people. He's stealing from me. But of course, if he wants to be benevolent and give a little, sprinkle a little bit over to Cecil or whatever, you know, it's fuck. Cecil's here. We need to go ahead and get it. And no shade on Cecil. I don't know the dude. His streams are getting 1,000. It didn't look like he needed the help anyway. But it was just the principle behind the thing, because him specifically saying that he wouldn't do that for me. But, you know, I don't want this to be about that right now. I don't even know how y'all tricked me. God damn you, Tiger King.
Top of exposing the ease of reading articles as the center of his job, but in the parody he was framing it as difficult. This was not a good look. It was only a few days later that Rich received 2 troll copyright strikes claiming that they owned the explosion Rich used in his intro. It was clear it was a troll because the channel that had reported him had clips of the BBC debating Rich.
The video is now gone because they got caught with their pants down. They probably deleted it right away, which sad day for you is that even when you delete a video, YouTube still has it in their database. So when this claim goes through, and this counterclaim goes through, they're going to look into that. They deleted the video though, so no one could see it.
As an additional response, Rich directs his viewers to his second channel, seen in the description. As Rich periodically addressed his trolls and gave them more power, they continued to grow and expand their list of tactics. In around 2015, they clung on to possibly the strangest campaign of trolling they'd ever used.
I'm not aware of Cecil's legal reasons. I think it was his divorce, maybe, because that would make money and then she would go after the money and whatnot. But I mean, this has nothing to do with him. He could have been anyone. It was specifically either Gundam did that, one of two things. He did that to as a fuck you to my face, or he just doesn't remember, and to him it's not a big deal. Like, to him it's not a slight, you know. And I'll say this, and he won't even deny this. He is starting to forget things. Like, seriously, like easy shit that I would tell him, schedule him. Like, there was the one time where we did the interview with the quartering. 2 days before the interview, I specifically told him, I said, hey, you know, Jeremy's coming on Wednesday. Do you want me to write up any kind of bio, any kind of like quick notes for you to go over? I said, no. Well, maybe, I don't know. Well, go write up something. And then I write it up. I put it up in the thing and everything. The fucking day of, when he shows up like 10 minutes before we're supposed to start, he's like, do we have a guest today? I said, what do you mean we have a guest? We have Jeremy. We have the quartering. And he's looking at chat, and the chat is not liking Jeremy, so they're kind of, there's haters in there. It's a mix. But Gundam is scared whenever he sees one bad comment, because that's all he focuses on. So he's like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me that we were going to have the quartering on here? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? Like, what the fuck do you mean, dude? I've had this on the books for 2 weeks. Like, he's not remembering things. He remembers it if you write it down and put it in front of his face right then and there. But even in the videos, sometimes he forgets stuff. And he doesn't want to go back and fix anything. So it just got to be too tough to work with someone that doesn't care about what they're doing, but they expect to have the most from it. That's too frustrating. And I won't be a part of that delusion.
One that's absurdness attracted those joining for the humor and the absurdity, and others that saw it as a true calling.
Hello, comrades. I would like to present the Big Cheese Anthem. I encourage you to keep hitting the channel and fighting for Big Cheese.
He thought that he could get away with taking $200 from Big Cheese.
This is Big Cheese reporting in. I want you guys to stop trolling, the guy that did me wrong.
I decided to do the decent thing. I made a change.org petition to have ReviewTech USA's sponsor Hawk.
Stop messaging me saying to stop something that I had nothing to do with at all. I had nothing to do with it.
Come at me, because what I'm doing is 100% legal.
This outcry against Rich, circa 2015, was because of a deal that went wrong between content creator Big Cheese and Rich. As Rich had begun taking sponsors for his videos, Big Cheese inquired about a spot for his channel. The prior deal involved a laptop,
a lot of people
and things went smoothly.
A lot of people shit on me in comments.
Big Cheese and
they
then
shit on him a
Rich
lot.
Desktop.
That's why in the video I was like, you want to come in here and shit on him?
What was assumed to be 6
$50,
months
you can say whatever
and
you
an additional
want.
$200
Just so
payment made
there
to
was
Big
a,
Cheese in December 2014.
There was a paywall, because you can't just be like, well, everybody can come in and put $2 down and just talk shit. You have to get the people that really, really want it. Really, really want it. Because they'll make the best content. And that's what we're here for. I'm not here to take down the quartering. I'm not here to fucking get a gotcha on Rich or fucking figure out the DSP is fucking down from the rafters and then I can go off in the sunset being the #1 detractor in the entire fucking world. I'm not here to do that. That's why I don't specifically stick with one person or one story. because it's too fun doing all of them. I miss Bloodsport.
There were issues with the computer's CD drive, but both parties were happy to
Whatever
continue
happened
the
to
deal.
Tonka Saw?
Today's video was brought to you by Big Cheese's YouTube channel. For gameplay reviews, gaming music, and vlogs, subscribe to Big Cheese VG. Link below in the description.
This was the only placement for Thanksgiving week. Already, Rich had failed the promise of 3 sponsors a week. But that's when Big Cheese reached out, inquiring what happened. Rich states that the holiday has somehow affected his ability to add placements. Big Cheese shook it off, and was pleased to find that Rich was adhering to their deal to 3 sponsors the following week. But that was it.
I know it was a
Even though
fake.
the
It's-
10th
I
of
thought he was in a
December had come,
wheelchair or
Rich
something.
was reluctant to
He's
deliver
dying
those
from
$200,
AIDS or something.
instead
And I
offering
haven't
Big
heard
Cheese an additional
about it in
6 months
years.
of promotion.
I remember
That,
he
or
was one of
sends
the people
PC
that
back, which Big Cheese would have to pay.
One of the people that Diorio was obsessed with. Him and that Bunty King dude. And I always used to get them confused.
The shipping for. Either way, Rich made it clear he was not getting the agreed upon $200, emphasizing that other companies would pay him thousands for the sponsorship spots and that it was not worth his time. The conversation then devolved alongside the deal. Big Cheese made the statement that Rich was going back on his
Oh, I
word,
remember
which Rich
that.
refuted,
He
as
didn't do
Big
anything
Cheese
after
refined,
that. He flaked
attacks
on the
Rich character
Memphis
was
fight.
a sore spot.
But when I said something about that financial crisis, when I tell you he flipped
wow.
on me, he went ham. Cue it. First off, no financial
Big-ass
crisis.
tough guy.
Secondly, I don't give a shit to keep the machine and pay out money I don't need to. That's called being smart. You get back your product and there's no contract. You seem like a man who was broke and desperate since we are calling out people's financials, but sadly that's not my problem. So before I say something really nasty, bite your tongue. You get your computer and take virtually no financial loss except shipping. You know, the half-working computer you sent me. Don't get smart with me, boss, because I'm not in the
That's
mood.
what I
Let
said,
me know what you
Captain.
wanna
That's
do.
how I did
After a lengthy
the
back
booking.
and forth with threats of litigation in the conversation, Rich posted this on his public Facebook. But only Big Cheese at the time knew who it was directed at.
I'm a nice guy, but I'm not a pushover, and if you try to screw me over business-wise, I will legally stomp you and smile while doing it. Just a word of advice. Rich, bruh, you're playing
That
the
kid with
victim
the
once
pistol
again.
was just
You are
like
a
following
victim,
every
an
word
emotional
she said like a
victim.
little puppet.
This was all compiled in Big Cheese's video calling Rich out for going back on his word. Rich, rather than pay those $200 and diffuse the building tension, uploads his own video to counter Big Cheese.
So you get back anything, you lose no money minus shipping, and you get months upon months of free advertising, and you're trying to turn this into me being like a scandalous thief? Go to hell, dude. This is the last video I'll make on it. I don't care who else makes responses. I know people. I was going to keep this private like it should have been, but since you wanted to make it into a shit show,
dramas
so
so
be
far
it. I'm
with
sure
Rich
this is going to be
on this June doc.
an
What do y'all
e-drama
think
thing
so
that
far?
everyone's going to jump on the bandwagon.
I know I've been
but this
talking
is
through
the
most
only
of it,
video
but
I will make about it.
What do y'all
Without
get out
any
of 10
encouragement
right now?
from
What do
Big
y'all think
Cheese
about
himself,
this documentary?
disagreement alone birthed the Big Cheese Crusaders. Random users that formed under this drama in order to go after Rich in whatever ways they could. Rich saw only a glimpse of the chaos to come and buckled under the pressure.
I paid Big Cheese, and I guess I do owe him an apology. Even though I was willing to send back
the old
product,
drama with Rich is not
I guess he was
interesting
depending
to me,
on the money
'cause I
that I
didn't
was
follow
going to
him
send
back
him,
in the day.
and it kind
So
of
these
blindsided
differences over
Though the feud
$200
was
and
ostensibly
links
over,
and
in reality, it had
you
shifted
know,
between fans
the
and detractors of
BBC
Rich,
guy
some still under the Big
debates,
Cheese
you
Crusaders.
know,
Whenever Rich would slip
Rich
up
is
in a
like
video, they were
King.
certain to
He
catalog
talks
it.
all
I
the
actually
time.
truly feel
And he'll
that I
fuck
owe
up.
Anita Sarkeesian an apology. Here's what I mean. Mr. Repzion, he's a pretty big channel on
Okay, here we
YouTube.
go.
Videos like Rich's apology to the highly disliked Anita Sarkeesian over threats
Why
she
the
was
fuck would
receiving,
you apologize
or
to
just an
Anita
ill-informed
Sarkeesian?
video about how DirectX 12 compatibility works. Comments disparaging Rich would
That's
soon
what
become
I'm
the
thinking,
least of his
Rebound.
worries, as he knew hell would overshadow them
I
all.
hope that
Around April of
DSP's doc is not
2015,
set up
a
the
channel
same
going
way.
under Review Hell USA was persistent in the ruination of Rich, seeking to affect not only his reputation, but
Because I
also
don't think
cancel
it
his
shouldn't be,
convention
because they're
showings
not
and
starting
successfully
from the
scared
very
away his
beginning with
sponsors.
Phil, are they?
Though it looked like this
I
person
thought that they would
wasn't
just
the
be
only
starting
one
from
interested
when
in
he left
bringing
off on
Rich
his last
beyond what was
doc.
typical.
This is when shit goes too far. I deal with trolling on a daily basis. I deal with nonsense
Keem's
on a
funny.
daily basis. I've been
And he's got
DOS attacked, or
he's got the
denial of
money and
service
the balls
attacked
to back up what he
on,
says. 100%.
Twitch, so
no
on
matter
and
if
so
it's
forth.
wrong.
But the message that you're seeing here, the still, is a message that I received on Facebook. When you threaten me is when shit gets real.
The purpose of this threat was to both scare Rich and cancel his convention
Rakita's
showing.
dumpster fire.
But as Rich
is
draws
fun to
on,
watch.
a claim he makes
If
about
y'all
the
want
advice
to,
given from law
we can
enforcement
change this
is
over
not
and
so
go
believable.
to.
So I actually asked the officer if I should make a video about what happened, and he said, yeah, it would be a
Rakita's
good idea. It could give us
shower
more
text
information.
to,
It could help us get a lead
Josh
quicker. So I'm actually asking
no.
you guys for some help.
It
We
was
could do
this
that
line
one.
that had viewers questioning
But
if
I will
Rich
say
was
I
lying.
can't do
This
too late
sentiment
tonight.
was shared on
'cause
Drama
like I
Alert
said, I'm
that was
doing dinner.
reporting the story.
So
Now, Tech USA
I have
said
to
that he
have a-
went
oh,
to the
there's-
police, and the
there's
police
the
told him
homie.
to make a video so people try to find this person. It seems like a little bit of a stretch. I'm not the only one that thinks it's a stretch. A lot of people have been uploading videos to YouTube claiming that this is just a hoax for exposure.
Whatever the case, Rich on his Facebook was firing back, claiming that the trolls that went after him will be made an example of. Quote, how this shit is handled on the internet has to be changed. And I'm gonna make that change happen. They know I have info and are scared, and they should be. The anonymity of the internet should not be a safe haven for harassment. Unquote. Those seeking Rich's demise were confident, enough so that they came forward claiming that they were the ones that sent the threat.
We have Lizard Squad here today, and we also have
Remember that,
Review
y'all? Who
Tech
remembers Lizard
USA. Why did you
Squad?
guys make the death threat? Why did
When
you
they
get him
took
kicked
down
from
the
this event?
PSN
Don't you
network.
think that's going too far?
No, it wasn't.
I wasn't
going too
working
far.
at DA at that time.
It was
but-
actually our associate Daryl Boot who
Yeah,
called
Daryl
up
did it, not us.
too many games and told them basically what would happen if he attended the event.
Whether it was from the infamous hacking group, Lizard Squad, Review Hell USA, or any other of Rich's trolls, his harassment only escalated as more users were coming out to attack him, which Rich continued to address. Little did they know, Rich was more than willing to sink to their level.
Okay, so the sponsor that came up to me fairly recently, and I'm excited as hell that we're working together, is called shadowsgovernment.com. These guys work with digital forensics, online psychological criminal profiling, and the one I'm going to be talking about the most, okay, is cyber criminal investigation.
Shadow's Government was a self-proclaimed white hat hacker. These are deemed ethical hackers who try to expose security vulnerabilities for the companies or individuals they serve or take contracts with. As much as anonymity.
Oh, I watched that too. The low tax one that he did. That was good. That was good. I had known of low tax, but I'd never had done like a whole video of his entire life story. That was a good video. I give him that. We're not going to be doing Rakita tonight because I don't have anything set up. And whenever you're doing a Rakita video, you got to have all the little knickknacks. This was just more or less something that I wanted to do because I wanted to see how well June would do a Rich documentary. But to tell you the truth, I'm not super duper impressed. But not exactly. We're what, 30 minutes into it, 45 minutes into it.
Is valued in this space, Todd Nicely, the person behind Shadow's Government, wasn't so anonymous.
Todd Nicely was arrested after impersonating a doctor at Somerset Community Hospital. But he says there's more to the story. Todd was a patient when he wondered just how secure the hospital is, both physically and technically. He runs an online conglomerate of computer hackers from all over the world called Shadows.
As it was quickly found out, Nicely also had several criminal convictions, mostly related to drug possession and driving, whether it be under the influence or with a revoked license. Rich had promoted a convicted criminal for reasons that soon became apparent when Shadows sent out a bounty. Quote, Shadows putting out a bounty on their heads, easy money. Announcement, $200 for docs on the following. Big Cheese Crusaders bullshit group. They usually go by Review Hell USA, Review Mussolini, or Review something or other, unquote. While this is hard to verify with complete certainty as it only exists through screenshots and videos, there is other information that has yet to be wiped, like this Facebook post that can still be found on Rich's Facebook. Quote, I would like to thank Anonymous, our Predator, and Shadow's Government for helping me proactively identify and locate Redacted, aka Review Hell USA. Excellent work, and I can't express my gratitude enough. Unquote.
See, this is the one we were talking about yesterday about the doxing. The doxing complaints, accusations, whatever you want to call them. My personal view on doxing is it's annoying. It's not illegal. It's only illegal in the United States. That's where I live. So this is where I can only base my viewpoint from. I don't know about U.S. I don't know about Mexico or Canada. But in the U.S., you cannot. There is no criminal statute for doxing. The only way that doxing applies is if it involves a jury members, or a judge in a sealed court case. But you, as a normal person, can't go to the cops and say, I want to charge someone with doxing, and they go arrest someone. That's not a thing. I don't know why people get that confused, but it is not a criminal complaint. It is not a misdemeanor. It is not a felony. Now, it is morally gray. And the reason why I say morally gray, because sometimes people don't want their full names out there. They don't want, personal information out in the open. And I understand. Before I started using my full name online, I went by a pseudonym. I went by an alias. Once it got to the point where anyone with fucking 5 seconds could figure out who I was, I thought it was just pointless. And it would be better if I just went with my real name. That way I could take the power away from people that would try to use that against you. Because for some weird reason, people online think that if they show you your address or if they show you your full name or something, that fucking means something. To me, it doesn't mean jack shit. Because every home that I've ever lived in, I've always contacted the sheriffs of that county and told them exactly what I do and told them exactly what kind of code word they need to set up when a weird call comes in, like someone swatting, a specific my address. There is a code word that they call. Now they will take the call. They have to. Luckily, nothing like that's happened, and I'm knock on wood that it doesn't. But the doxing stuff, to me, it's not as big a deal to other people that live and die by their usernames. Like Gundam, he doesn't want anyone to know his real name. He don't want anyone to know any personal information. Even though he was a lead singer of a band that released, hit singles and stuff, he was profiled in articles and such. So his name's out there. It's not like it's hidden or anything like that. But I get it. You don't want to, readily put it out there. That's fine. If you're a public figure, though, and you're working in the public square, you can't be mad at people that go that far. It's annoying, but like I said, it's not illegal, and it's not, you won't go to jail over it. I really don't even know if you could, if a civil suit would be, if that would be possible. Maybe, but you would have to get it past the judge, and that's in its own thing. And I don't want to talk about Gundam's anything personal from the furthest I was willing to go with him was reading the text messages that we had that showed him as being this big ass hypocrite. And that's all I needed to show. I didn't need to show any personal stuff we talked about or any stuff like that, because I got the message across. But this whole obsession sometimes people have with doxing, there are things like private investigators that go and search for your name, and they have your personal information. It's not illegal to research someone. It's just when people get it done to them when they're doxxed, that's the first thing. Oh, I'm doxxed. I mean, come on.
With that, I forgot about it. I swear on my son, I forgot about it. I wouldn't even mention that in that Twitch video. There was a guy on YouTube who was
take it easy,
bothering
SBZ.
my family and I, to the point that I had to get authorities involved. I'm not going to go into details. Basically, they threw their hands up and there was nothing they could really do. Someone said, which ended up being him.
Yeah, doxing can be a punt move if you're really trying to hurt somebody with it.
To him.
Now,
So
it also can be useful if you're trying to expose someone.
I'm like, all right, I'll put it out there.
But like I said, it's a gray area.
Rich posting the Pastebin of Review Hell USA.
A gun is not inherently good or bad. A gun could protect you. A gun could put you in a murder case. It could go either which way. It depends on how you use the information you have.
Quote, someone sent me a possible dox of the psycho that has been relentless on me. I didn't ask for it, and I strongly question its legitimacy. But what the hell? I'm tired of this prick. Unquote.
I never doxed anybody. That was the funny thing. I never looked up anyone's information or did anything to get anybody's information. That was just handed. That is all it was. I personally did not get anyone's information. So, it is what it is.
Rich seems confused on what doxing is. Obtaining information is not doxing. Releasing it is doxing. The severity varies on the intent and widespread of the information. Contrary to popular belief, doxing can be a crime. In the US, it is classified as cyberstalking and is exactly what Rich was doing. Specifically, posting information or spreading rumors about the victim on the internet or hiring private investigators. After Rich committed...
Yeah, that's kind of like really stretching what would be considered criminal behavior, because the cyber stalking is the charge. That is the charge. Doxing is a form of cyber harassment, but cyber harassment is the charge. Doxing isn't the charge. So like I said before, specific doxing, taking someone's name, releasing it online with intent to harm, something like that, only really applies to people whose identity is involved in the legal system, juries, judges, stuff like that. I guess you could loophole it and say doxing being part of cyber harassment is criminal, but again, cyber harassment, which involves all of it, it could be doxing, it could be what's other cyber messages, death threats, stuff like that. It would seem to me that saying someone's real name is not as big a deal as saying someone's address, which is not as big a deal as saying, I'm going to this address to do X, Y, and Z. There's levels to it. But again, no one's going to a house being charged with doxing.
This crime, due to the reaction, he took it down, as explained in this Facebook comment. Quote, don't get it. People were freaking out.
Swatting, right now as it stands, can get you upwards around 20 years. And I know that because that's what they gave Swatistic for his doxing escapade that ended up with one man dead, a father dead. So we know that swatting can get you 20 years. And that is something that's against the law, super duper against the law. And I think anyone caught swatting should do like a mandatory 5 the first time. If they were caught after that, then give them the deuce.
I wasn't threatening the person in the docs, and I wasn't the one who compiled it. But due to the reaction, I took it down. I really just wanted to see if anyone knew anything. Unquote. Now, late 2015, it turned out that the Big Cheese Crusaders were not only targeting Rich, but also Big Cheese himself. For that reason, Rich uploaded a video with Big Cheese in an attempt to quell the unrest.
And while I was streaming, the BC Crusaders, that's what they call themselves. How the hell you crusading me? But they call themselves the BC Crusaders. They spammed DDoS my Twitch page, a bunch of followers with my home phone number, saying that my wife's a whore, and then my mom has cancer, and then says I have your mailing address and stuff like that. So it's been pretty much the cyber harassment, cyber attacking towards me.
What happened with Big Cheese and me? There was a business.
She was a fucking piece of work, super duper piece of work. I think we crossed paths from Drama Alert a few times, and she was what was she, one of those flower children, or one of those children that thought that they had special, or one of those people that thought they had special powers or something. It was weird. That's a blast from the past right there. Joy Sparkle. There's so many of these smaller YouTubers that have just come and gone that I can remember either working from Drama Alert or before then or after then, that when you think about it, it's kind of like, you know, and you go to the club or something and you see the regulars, and then all of a sudden there's, you know, the bar, and then they're not there. And then you don't show up for a long time, and then you come back around and they say, well, you remember what happened to old Joy Sparkle? Oh, fucking Joy, that crazy bitch. What the fuck is she doing now? Well, she done stabbed somebody, and she's doing 7 to 12.
Deal we had, it went sour, but we squashed it.
Yeah,
within,
that was a
what
fucked
would
up
you say,
situation
24
too,
hours
the
of
Daddy
happening?
05 stuff.
Pretty-
Oh, fun fact. When the Daddy 05 stuff initially hit, this is when I was working with Keem at this point, I think. But he gave his word the first day on it. And since he was friends with Kid Behind a Camera, and that dude was like friends with Kid Behind a Camera, Keem kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. And he didn't expect that, you know, that he was going to see that man tell that boy to hit that little girl that hard, because that's what sent him over the edge. But initially, Keem sided with Daddy 05, with the dude from Daddy 05. Now, that only lasted for like 12 hours, because when he woke up the next morning and he saw the video of that, him telling his son to slap the girl, he immediately did a about face and went hard at him. But his first thought was to defend Daddy 05, which I always thought was kind of weird. Yeah, an empath. That's what she called it. An empath.
Pretty much. And if we can move on from it, there's no reason for it to keep continuing. And I hope maybe if people realize, oh wow, Rich and Big Cheese have moved on.
I'm going to leave
from
this on for a
maybe
second.
It isn't as big of a deal as people are trying to
just
make it.
To kind of catch up.
The
I'm
top
gonna go
comments
smoke
were
a cigarette
criticizing
real
Rich
quick.
for bringing
A
up
cigarette.
trolls once more.
And I'm also going to hit up
no,
Rich
why
to
did you
see
bring it up? The trolls
when he
were
wants to
returned.
come on. And if
And
y'all want Rich to come on, put a 1 in the chat.
Rich, this was
when I
a
come
bad
back, I'll
idea.
check. But I'll only be gone for like 2 minutes.
It's difficult to state what effect this video had on the Big Cheese Crusaders. What is known is that at this point, those that were left in the movement were members that truly despised Rich. And as such, they continued to document Rich under a critical lens, seeking to spread word of his transgressions, the newest of which came from a Final Fantasy XIV review.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Rich of ReviewTech USA, and this is going to be a very interesting video. Square Enix came up to me and asked me to play Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn. I suggest you give this game a chance. I think you'll really enjoy it. So huge shout out to Square Enix for giving me an opportunity to play this game, and I think they have something awesome on their hands, and now I can see why this game has been praised by so many people.
Rich in the video praised the game, but it was only in the description and the comments that he stated he was sponsored by Square Enix to make this video. That in itself wasn't the entire reason this review was somewhat controversial. It was Rich's prior, unpaid statements about the game.
And they try too hard to be different, and the outcome is games like Final Fantasy XIII, Final Fantasy XIV, and the other garbage they come out with. They're trying to figure out what it is. Maybe because they've made a bunch of crappy Final Fantasy games that no one cares about. But beyond the screw-ups they're making, let's talk about all these companies, you know, because they're losing money making AAA games because they either try to rehash the same IP over and over again, or, you know, they try to make a half-ass game with multiplayer and hope it sells 10 million units and it doesn't.
These were likely throwaway lines to emphasize the dislike of Square Enix and the years the videos were created. And being that Final Fantasy XIV is an MMO and changes year per year, Rich could have naturally changed his opinion as the game improved. Though the clips next to each other and the lack of disclosure inside the actual video made for more reason for trolls to dislike Rich, and closed out 2015. 2016 started off just as poorly for Rich. In January, he polled his Twitter audience asking them if he should make a Patreon. No won by a decent margin. Coincidentally, Keemstar posted this video about creators being greedy with their Patreons.
Like, why would you ask your fans for money when you could give money back to your fans. I mean, you're the one that's blessed.
This was a repeat of the situation with the BBC. Though Keemstar did not mention Rich by name, Rich immediately responded and assumed it was him that Keemstar was talking about. The two then argued about the ethics of donations before the conversation died down. That's when Keemstar told Rich he was making a general statement that was not specifically targeting him. From here, Rich apologized 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This apology lasted about an hour. Quote, LMAO. Okay, apology taken back. At Keemstar, really, dude? I'm done after this, but wow. Unquote. Rich was not done after this, as below was a video calling Keemstar out for having a donate button on his stream page, as Rich was equating that to having a Patreon. The only person that could benefit from this nebulous argument was Keemstar, but Rich was too arrogant to see how this back and forth, his flip-flopping from apologizing to then taking the apology back, could hurt him.
Before everyone freaks out, I have no ill will against Keemstar. This isn't going to turn into some stupid thing.
This turned into a massive back and forth between Rich and Keemstar and eventually escalated into a debate.
Right? He's like, look at Keemstar, I take my apology back. Well, first of all, you apologized because you thought I was talking about you, okay? That's why you apologized, all right? But then you took my apology back because you found that I have a donate button on my stream. Rich, look at, you said just a little while ago that you're not going to be making a Patreon.
Yeah,
Are you 100% you're not going to be making a Patreon?
pretty much, yes.
All right. Well, there it is. He's not making a Patreon. So look, you manipulated the situation. You lied 3 times. We've already went over this 100 times. And you know what? Now I've backed you in a corner, and you're not making a Patreon. So I'll take it as a win.
Dude, don't
Anyone
even try.
else can say whatever the fuck they want. I'll take it as a win.
Yeah, of course you're going to take it as a win. You're like making these things and putting them in there to make it as a win. The bottom line is this.
You're not making a Patreon.
Semantics aside, throughout the debate, it was Keemstar's goal to bar Rich from making a Patreon, in which he succeeded, lest he go back on his word. And if this happened in February instead of January 2016, Keemstar would have had more ammunition to use. Not because of the Patreon, but because of these 2 tweets. Quote, I think it's time I released at the RTU Critic's personal info. What do you guys think? Let's have some fun. At the RTU Critic, I'll make sure to add that pic of your kid to the docs too. Let's make this a good one. Unquote. Rich claims this was in retaliation to the RTU Critic's doxing and harassing of his family, which included his children, even calling Rich when he was at the gym. Though after it came out that Shadow's government had a criminal history, Rich cut ties with Shadow and tried to delete as much as he could of what happened. These tweets were soon deleted, though they are still visible through the Wayback Machine alongside the remnants of the RTU Critics campaign against Rich. There were also videos that fans of Rich made combating the RTU Critic. This fan made a rap song celebrating the dogs of the RTU Critic.
You can't run, you can't hide, you're not going to stop my review tech pride. You could have got boxed, but instead you got doxed.
The RTU Critic and Review Hell USA are the same person, alongside a different creator known as Sierra Air.
Hey guys, in this video I'm going to expose a traitor to the Big Cheese Crusaders.
Sierra was not nearly as successful in getting reactions from Rich, but they were successful in keeping whatever was left of the Big Cheese Crusaders together. Clear by the catalog of videos, Sierra was not a very sane person, as it is not typical for someone to upload this many videos about the police or just McDonald's employees harassing them. Regardless, Sierra did get some notoriety from those looking into Rich's most dedicated opposition.
Now this person that he's adding in this tweet is
Let's tune into Rich's stream real quick. Y'all couldn't hear me. I was muted. Yeah. Yeah, what's it to you, Captain? Oh, I'm gonna be like Rich now and just be like, birds. It just ain't working. It's not working. But let's tune in to see what he's doing on his stream. before I fall out because I'm just so fucking wasted. Super duper wasted. My downfall live. What's cracking, Rich?
This drama was.
Yeah, it got too. I got too petty. It got too petty.
Anybody want to take advantage of Ivana?
I should have just.
She is drunk as fuck.
Stopped.
Coming out during Rich's worst performing month this year so far. But Jay also wasn't done because he did a podcast breaking down what happened.
So let's get this straight. He said, I'm a parasite. Then he made a stream about it and said, I stand by what I said. And then days later, he apologized. He said, I shouldn't have done that.
This guy looks familiar.
And now where are we at? I don't even know because it's like being on a roller coaster that spins. I don't even know what direction we're in when he comes to what he's talking about.
Jay. He's talking about Jay.
As poorly as Rich continued to handle this, there were moments where Jay prodded Rich,
Finally, we're at the
excusing
good,
these
we're at the
prods
good
as
part.
jokes. Like when he made a channel called Review Tech Canada after being fired. This channel was removed after a day. Being that Rich has had various detractor channels that follow him intently that are spin-offs of his channel's name, this could be seen as a strike at Rich. There was also the firing on his birthday that, while accurate, was getting the criticism that he was victimizing himself.
And it was supposed to be like a public...
Sicko saying they will take advantage of Ivana for $20, then it's just business and not grape. And I am staying outside of this conversation.
joke where people went, oh, he's Review Tech Canada for a day or whatever on his YouTube channel. I changed it literally for like 20 hours. This my first stream was called I'm Fired on My Birthday.
Oh, Saren with the big $10. I'm a little late to it. I'm sorry about that, Saren. Thanks for keeping at it, Pest. Us quality content OG see you putting in the work, and we're excited to see what you cook up next. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it. You know, y'all are the small group of people that kept me from just saying, fuck it, I'm done with the streaming stuff. You know, I saw that there was people that enjoyed me being on stream, so I figured I'd do it for y'all, and then kind of learn it myself because, like I said, this is new to me, being in front of the camera, basically in front of the mic. But I hope that when the VTuber comes in, which, you know, fingers crossed, September, fingers crossed. Oh, by the way, I can actually show y'all one of the revisions that I had, and y'all can critique it real quick. Tell me if I'm going in the right direction with the VTuber. One thing that I did find was it's getting a little hard to try to model it after Uncle Baby Billy and it not look like Colonel Sanders. Like the two times that I've tried, you know, specifically trying to do a Baby Billy, it ends up looking like Colonel Sanders. And I changed the hair. It just looks like a different Colonel Sanders with, you know, darker hair. Some shit. It's really weird, you know. But this was my backups, and I wanted to see which one y'all thought would be better. So give me your honest opinion. Yeah, Loner VTuber. Exactly. This is number one. And the outfit probably be around that too. This looks more like me. I don't have a full beard. I have more of a stubble. Colonel Sanders is cool. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to have the baseline for the VTuber be Colonel Sanders. To dress up like Colonel Sanders, to put a you know, overlay on top of it, that's fine. But I need to have something that's just like baseline as me, something that branded. This is going to be what it looks like. So what do y'all think? We've got Sigo says Ginger Ben like Revs. Much better. Yeah, it was much better. Very far less. I specifically wrote in the revisions, I was like, more testosterone. More testosterone, please. Oh, look, Terabit saying, watching you doing made me get back into doing my 3D thing again. Well, that's awesome, bro. DM me some work when you get around to it, when you get comfortable enough to show it. Okay, yeah, that doesn't look like Baby Billy though. That's not the one that I'm talking about. I'm about to show you the other one. And this one, when we changed the hair, it was better. It didn't look like Colonel Sanders anymore. This is the other one. This one's a little bit more metrosexual. But I do like the haircut. What do y'all think? Looks like Nathan Drake. Yeah, it does, kind of. Young Indiana Jones. Way better, says Mr. Martinez. Yeah, it was. It was definitely way better. You like the first one? Nacho Cheese says the first one. This one looks like someone who gets pegged. Gojo vibes. Bougie as fuck. First one's better. K-pop band. Don't like the hair color. Brown look better. Oh, yeah, I agree. What did the first one look like? All right, let's go back and do the first one. Wait, man, can I do two? No, I can only do one. This is the first one. So I was thinking, you know, when the head is moving, hair is moving, maybe the collar and the jacket is moving. I wanted to think of something else to kind of differentiate this. I don't know, maybe have my insignia somewhere on a watch or some necklace that has it like a medallion. I don't know if that'd be too fucking cheesy though. Or maybe just have like some diamonds that twinkle, you know. Because I was looking at Nux Taku's VTuber. I know he's going through like a whole heap of fucking drama right now. I'm not talking about his drama. I'm just talking about the art. And how his branding is very strong, you know. You know you're looking at a Nux video when you see just the coloring or like, you know, the art. And I want to have that same kind of vibe. But using something like this character as a baseline. Because couldn't you just see like this character as a baseline, but you could change, you know, all the fucking outfits and shit like that. We could do a total white suit with a bolo tie and a fucking white gallon cowboy hat, or dress him up like the fucking Bo from the Duke Boys. Just make sure you have a Dono golf vest avatar put on. Oh, that would be fucking tight. So when you hit I don't have goals, but let's just say, you know, I do like a $100 super chat or something, $50 super chat. And then I'll put on, I could click, have an animation that puts on. See, that's the kind of stuff that I would put my money into, because I think that would be fucking awesome. I look at some of these other VTubers like Mari and, you know, even Kirsha, like they put a lot of thought and prep into their VTuber setup. Much different than how Gundam was doing it. It was just fly by the seat of your pants over there, you know. And then get on to me about how stuff doesn't look up to his professional critiques. But anyways, the pants are gay. You could do something like the belt is kind of weak. Put like a Gucci belt on. Or sag, like have some sag to them. Or maybe change the jacket, or it's not a leather jacket. It's like a hoodie. Men have side pockets, not front pockets. I agree. These little flippity flap pockets right here. That's no good. Those will have to go. Big ass buckle. Schizo Spud says, "Don't look bad." No, I don't think. I mean, they actually hit the assignment better than they did the first time around. And let me just take everyone back. Let me take you back to the old school. What the first draft looked like. This is what, when I said I gave them all the prerequisites and everything, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. I want to have a man that matches my voice. They've got a deep southern drawl, and I need something that'll match it. And this is what they came up with as the first attempt. Now, we can laugh at this because it's the first attempt, but this is what they came up with. The motherfucker looks like they're too big for this. I mean, they're too small for the suit. The suit, it looks 2 sizes too big. It looks like she just came off the set of Ellen. Red, the lesbian assassin. She's number 69. Poet, even the top. There's a fucking tight little knot on that tie, boy. Look at that shit. I don't even know how you get that. How do you get that? Like, if the knot is tight, but the tie is loose. It's like an oxymoron. Looks like your high school Spanish teacher, Senora Mas. Ay, ay, ay. Looks very woman-like. Yeah, and that's the reason why everyone, the first time I showed it, they were like, yeah, this is a woman. And I'm like, yeah, I know. There is a serial killer vibe. I mean, it does kind of look like Jeffrey Dahmer, but a little younger. Like Jeffrey Dahmer going on their first job interview. It has some Patrick Bateman vibes without the coolness. Yeah, it's like the broke Patrick Bateman. It's like Patrick Bateman lives in the high rise, right? He chauffeured to work, all of it. This dude right here, he like lives on 134th and 76th in like a basement apartment that he rents out from this Russian lady. And every morning he just looks in the mirror, gets dressed up like he's going to a job or something, but he just sits there in the corner. Patricia Bateman. I'm simply not there. Girl. American Girl boss. Spud says it looks like a stock trader from New York City, not someone from the South. Yeah, I know. It would not match. It would not match. Look, okay, you hear my voice, you hear me talking right now. You're looking at this picture. Let me get rid of Dickers. Get rid of Dickers. Get rid of this. This is me talking to you with this one. Blase, blase, yippity yap, don't talk back. And then I show up with this dude, and all of a sudden you're coming home with me. This guy right here says, "Excuse me, ma'am. I was wondering if I left my boots underneath your bed. It's all right. I can come back later on after I get done taking these children to the aquarium." Well, I work with the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm what you call a big brother. But it don't matter. You could leave them boots on the front of the porch. I don't want to disturb you. I had a great night last night. And I just want to let you know that you're a very special woman to me. And I'll be seeing you real soon. See, that's that dude. Or maybe maybe this dude's more bro. Maybe he's more bro. I don't know. The eyes got to change, though, because I have blue eyes. So I got to change the eyes. More 5 o'clock shadow. I agree with that. a little bit more weathering. You know, he's younger. He's young. He looks like me when I was younger. A strapping young lad. He doesn't have the cowlick, but it's close. Anyways, I just want to show a wider jaw. Maybe I don't know if we can make it too much wider because it has to talk too. It's got to move. The one we had before had no jaw. It was just like fucking super little penny jaw. Sicko, Pest, what are your thoughts on these hop, skip, drive ads? They look creepy as fuck. On YouTube, I haven't caught one yet, but I heard about it. Thanks, Ivana. That's only when I'm pushing like my accent really hard. Like I've worked a little bit to try to lose my accent, but it's still there. But then, you know, I do the Matthew McConaughey thing. Feel like you need something a little bit more laid back, something like Matthew McConaughey. Well, I think maybe if I made him a little bit older, put a little bit more salt and pepper in the hair, you know, and not jeans, maybe like just black dress pants kind of deal. You think you can do Gambit? Oh, I could probably do Gambit. That's more of a Louisiana bayou, and I was born in Louisiana, so I can do a little bit of it. I didn't grow up there, so my accent comes more from deep Alabama than it does Louisiana. But I can definitely, whenever you're doing something like Gambit, it'd be like, "Oh, mon cher, what do? Here, I'll play these here cards, and I'll play them right to your here heart. You get what I'm saying now here? You get on down. This whole Gambit talking to you right now. Mon cher, Remy Bololiti, Alala boo 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 boo. It's a me, Remy Bolabo. I play the card. Now, see, I'm doing it wrong. See, it's a little harder when you're doing a Louisiana Cajun accent. You got to talk like this, man. You got to do a little bit of something like a Baltimore man. Mix it with a little southernness and be like, yeah. Oh, man, this is a man. Now, see, I'm doing the Jamaican thing again. It's hard. It's tough. I had to try a little bit more. Focus in on what I'm saying. If I know what I'm saying, then I can kind of hear it a little bit better. Channing Tatum did an okay job, and anyone that's seen spoilers, anyone that's seen the new Deadpool movie, he's in it. He takes up the role of Gambit, the one that they canceled, that he tried to get on the MCU for like a fucking decade. Now, it wasn't worth it. Like, it was a good impression of Gambit, but he definitely, I don't think he personified Gambit the way Ryan Reynolds personifies Deadpool. There's just two different roles, but he did good. You know, you could tell that he practiced at that for a while, and the voice was spot on. I believed it. It didn't get me out of the movie. But Louisiana Bayou accent is tough. You got to keep it. We got to keep it right up on in there. You know what I'm saying now? No, get on out there, because you got to hear that there a lot, that there a lot, that in there. I'm talking about but on that in there, on that boat, on that boat, nigga, on that and then there. You on that then down there. We on that crawfish, on there too fake. Don't bowl on the crawfish, boy. Hey, good day. Shabadi. End up sounding like a fucking, what's his name? What's that Chris Rock movie that bombed? Sadate. Tippy Ta. What was the name of that shit? It had a weird fucking name. Hoopty Doopty. Fuck, what was the name of that? Y'all probably say it in the chat. Is that no, Saren, not that one, not Foghorn Leghorn. I can do a good Foghorn Leghorn though. I say, you need to get on down here and have a meal. Some of this here, some of this here, justice here, and so this here courtroom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This courtroom. We're gonna be talking about this on here courtroom. And my name and my name and yeah, my name and Foghorn Leghorn. Yeah, a little bit more Kentucky, a little bit more. I say, you need to be that more of a slick Southerner. A little bit too fast for me. Yeah, I guess I am. All right, let me get my my wishful avatar off the front, and let's go back to Rich just to see if he has offed himself. Nah, he's still kicking.
That's all. The Kino Casino was covering Rich's history and watching his
Good,
live
we're up
streams
to the
heavily
very-
during
we're
the
up to
month of
the
April.
best part.
As it turned out, Rich was watching them as well.
Pootie Tang. Thank you, Bo.
No, I wasn't.
Thank you.
That's not true. I wasn't watching them at all.
Sadate.
So was he? Did he have it open by
Tippy-ta.
I think he had it open by accident, and then our stream started playing.
No way!
Like our pre-stream.
That is our. No, did not have their streams playing. The only thing I may have had was that one night where I had footage. I have not watched a Kino Casino stream. I promise that. Why would I not admit that if I did? I don't give a shit. But I have not watched their streams. People have asked me to watch clips on here, and I won't watch them.
Stream open, bro. You're right.
The importance of this catch was that both Rich's stream and the Kino Casinos were live simultaneously. The Kino Casino dug up some minor drama and titled their stream Review Tech USA Exposed. Rich, likely seeing this, decided to address what he thought the drama was. A miscalculation that opened up a can of worms no one knew about but him.
All of a sudden, I'm looking in Dropbox, and if you have the Dropbox app, for those of you who are familiar, you see like the recent, whether it be apps or files that you've been using, and I'm like, why the f am I seeing pictures of my ex's other kids?
What Rich just admitted was that his Dropbox was recently hacked.
Why
The hack
indeed?
was of Canadian origin. Within that Dropbox were images of his ex's kids in bikinis, but it was set up in that way because they all had a shared account. Rich verifies the story by calling who he claims to be his ex-wife.
Quick question.
Who he
for you.
claims to be. I love
Not
June.
ex-wife,
He did this to me too.
ex-fiance,
It was like
ex-fiance.
when he introduced me on the documentary about Keemstar, he was like, next we have Josh Pescatore, infamous drama YouTuber who worked for Keemstar at Drama Alert. I was like, that's the first time anyone had ever called me infamous. And I liked it. So to this day, on this channel, on the live channel, it says infamous YouTube producer, and then it has my credit with Drama Alert. Now it has a credit with Gundam, because normally I don't put a credit until they're after it's done. I might have like currently working on type of stuff, but now I'm known for two basically drama YouTubers. So I'm like, there's not going to be a third, I'll be the third. If I'm going to fucking flame out, then I at least want to own the ship.
Let's see. I was never married. What? Yeah, they're fucking lying. This part they're fucking lying about. This is them just fucking making up a game. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
VPN, and he thought we went through his Dropbox.
How stupid is this
I
guy?
thought Jay has retracted
There were many
some of
theories
that.
crafted that were not generous in explaining why those photos were on there.
Bringing that up.
The
Jay
facts
had,
are that
it
in
looks
May
like he might be going
2024,
back to
Review Tech
Dickers.
was at its lowest point in over 10 years. It is a dead channel. This is not drawn from its decline or speculation of its future. Review Tech USA is a dead channel because on May 21st, 2024, Rich posted this goodbye video.
I'm over what I was like, you know what? Boom, boom, boom. He's right. I called it dead. Now,
I know what's going to happen here. I had a
that's not
contractual
great.
obligation to upload a video, so I talked about Keffels. I had an ad. I had to put it in. I got roasted for it, but it is what it is. I had to do it. I'm sure that comes next. At least Review Tech USA was. I did this for over a decade. Over a decade. I got to sit in front of a camera and be an idiot for a living.
Rich in this video also explained he had some personal, possibly family-related things he was dealing with last month. As for his
Well,
channel,
true.
he reiterates that he is tired of the news and is giving up on it, but will post every now and then if something catches his interest. His efforts going forward will be in live streaming and his music production. But it was not even an entire 24 hours later that he posted another news video. Here he excuses his immediate comeback as a contractual obligation for a sponsor.
That was true. 100%.
None of the top comments
Oh my
are
God,
discussing the
Thanos
subject of
is
the video, but
concerned
rather
for
Rich's
Gundam because
short-lived
he's
goodbye.
hooked on vitamins.
This is not the first time
That's
this happened.
Thanos, y'all.
Even barring all
He
the
wanted
videos,
to
That
kill
is true.
half of
stating that he is
existence
seeking to make a different
just
form
to
of
save
content.
resources.
In 2022, in response to
bless
the
you,
inaction
sir.
of Quantum TV, Rich tweeted he's, quote, officially retiring from making conventional videos on
Do I
Review Tech
think that
USA.
having those photos
YouTube
was an
has made it
accident?
abundantly clear that Mike.
Let's put it this way. I've dated women that have children. I take special care that if they're in a picture of like me and her and, you know, it's in like doing a water park setting because we're here in Florida. I make sure that it's her camera, her phone that takes all them pictures. I don't take them with my phone. I'll take pictures of me and her with my phone. And if there is I took pictures of the child when they graduated elementary school this past year. So they're holding like their little certificate. But these are pictures that you would hang on a wall. Pictures that involve preteen girls. He might not have known anything about it. They might be like one of those things where it just syncs to the Dropbox account and they had it going ever since, you know. It is a little weird though that he mentions that the picture from Google Fish is in that same folder, and I'm wondered why like a picture that come off a DM on Twitter would go to that folder. And presumably, you know, is it going there to save or is it going there to go trash? Because if it's trash, just put it in trash. But if it's going there, then it's a specific spot that saves all pictures. And it might be just a catch-all that saves all. Because it's really weird the way Jay came out first saying, yes, this computer has a keylogger on it. I was hacked because of it. It has all these pictures of young kids, his kids, and pictures of gay porn and stuff like that on there. You know, and then he comes back. He says he was hacked. Rich says, oh, he's definitely hacked. They try to get money or they got money or something like that. And then Jay comes back today, or I guess it was yesterday, and goes after Darksea to Flow, actually. And Darksea was one of the people that had kind of first stood up for Jay, I thought, when Jay left and the injustice that he was getting affronted with. Let me see. I know I saw it. I'm telling you, I know for a fact that I saw him talk about Rich's Dropbox. Rich's the king. The king. Yeah, Jay runs back to RTU. This is the one Dash Fire did. Let me do this. This is pertinent to this whole drama, so I want y'all to be aware. Check this out.
Making up with Jay. Lukewarm political to you.
And I'm like, it is what it is. All that stuff has been like the debate with Blockbuster Critic. Like, you know.
Then someone made a funeral notice for RTU because of the doc coming out, and they titled it "Deadbeat Dad Piece of Shit." Second in line to
I mean,
Tevin,
that's the thing, Terry. It's like we don't know.
Remember how RTU
There's
quit
a lot of
Twitter
stuff
last week?
that
Well, he's back, and more manic than ever.
There's a lot of stuff that we don't know because Jay has said stuff and then retracted it, and we don't know what's real, what's not real. What was there a keylogger on there? How are you hacked? You know, these Dropbox folders. You know, why can't you show the non-doxing, non-sexual, non-anything stuff just to prove that there's something in there, you know, or something. There just seems like there's a lot of accusations, but there's not many tangible receipts that come off of this this computer that's at the center of such drama.
Summary. Anyone who accuses someone of being a PDF is a PDF themselves, except for him. Lukewarm political takes. Something about June. Seething about June. Melanie Mack. Threatening June. Making up with Jay.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of coping right there, a lot of sealing. But it was just, it's just weird.
Again, he goes on to tweet and say, "Guess I'm a proud
I'm not gonna
pedo to undermine your opinions and or credibility. Chances are they are an actual pedo."
You'll never get forgiven for that. It's it. It's over. You have.
Yeah, this is something I didn't want y'all to watch too. This one right here.
Biggest cucks. Then we have this video from John Riley. RTU states you can never be forgiven if you're a pedo. Okay, Rich, then quit bitching about the Dropbox when you were the one who told on yourself about having underage bikini.
Yeah,
pics
there's a
on your
lot of
wife's
that going
kids.
on. And see, that's the other thing, and Dash just brought it up. Him bringing it up out of the blue, thinking that he was getting ahead of that story, is also sus, because I would think that it would be more of like, what are you talking about? Like that kind of stuff. Like someone accused me, like, you've got pictures of kids in your thing. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Then in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't understand what, oh my God, this is what happened. Instead of being the first one out of the box, it's like, look, I know they're going to talk about the kids in the Dropbox folder. There's just a lot of weird misinformation, kind of information coming from both sides, both from Rich and from Jay. And then once Kino Casino got involved, they were putting their reputation on the line by saying these things on their platform to ultimately have Jay pretty much retract them and leave them looking stupid holding the bag. But we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. We're back to square one. We don't really know what happened. It's just, trust me, bro. That's what it breaks down to.
Yeah, dude. So CPU Tiara, I like, it's over, dude. You have to. You don't come back from being a pedo. You'll never get forgiven for that. It's it. It's over. You have to. I don't know. Become a male giant breast model. I'll. No, I won't work with you. You're a fucking pedo. Never.
Then we have RTU parody.
Jesus
Quick
Christ.
reminder that Review Tech
Anyways,
USA.
go ahead and stop that. Let's see what Rich is up to. I think he might be almost really done with his stream. My downfall. What's he saying?
Dollars. Would you eat like fucking?
Oh, what happened? Yeah, it's that kind of you can't expose me if I do it first mentality. But exposing yourself on a subject that came out of left field and something that was that, preposterous, I think I might have rolled. I think if I was him, I might have just let it roll the dice and see what they were going to talk about. Because it looks like that was on the top of his mind. I don't know why
Forget the Elden Ring start.
I'm sorry.
To me movement. See, I understand why June didn't really go into quantum TV. Because he has a whole video on him, but
Where's the? Oh,
no,
I
was
thought
actually
it was
looking
muted
at
again.
a lovely super chat.
They're in the stream. Damage gets blackout drunk on stream. Sometimes it's still entertaining.
Yeah, no
I
mention
mean,
of crying to beats.
People get fucked up on stream all the time.
Shirtless.
I get fucked up, not to the point where I fall over, and go to sleep on stream, or fall out like some people.
Well,
I've
he
worked
has
with
a
before.
whole documentary on quantum. So
You know,
why
I'm not
focus
your
on
daddy.
quantum and you could just go watch his quantum documentary?
There's lots of great streaming shows on YouTube that are based around drinking or smoking. The trouble with Rich in this particular
no sexual contact
problem,
I'm reading.
is
I'm
that
kind of
he
like
gets
vetting questions
boring,
right now,
and he gets silent when he gets really, really high. And I know y'all might not know this, but Rich used to be like number 60 as far as top super chat totals in the United States. He was number 60 at around $400,000. But mind you, Playboard has only been keeping these analytics since 2020. So that means he's made $400,000 in 4.5 years. That's almost $100,000 a year. Now, of course, you got to take fees out of it. Like we know Gundam likes to crab out. The 30% is going to come out no matter what. But 30% out of $400,000 is like $100,000. You're still walking away with $300,000. That's just super chat revenue. And if y'all don't believe me, this is one of the things when one of the reasons why I took interest in Rich's streams was that they were only getting like 400 to 700 viewers, but the amount of money he was pulling in was astronomical to the size. And this was like a year ago when he was just doing shit like birds and talking a lot of gay stuff. And they would bring in a lot of people that just wanted to act goofy and, send weird super chats about birds or sucking cocks. Or I wouldn't do that because I don't like that gay baiting stuff. I think it's cheap. And, I don't like pretending that I'm gay. That's not something I'm interested in. But they had a little shtick, him and Jay, that worked. And let me see here, RTU stream. And they made a lot of money. Here we go. Just so y'all don't call me a liar. This is Dicker's super chat total for 4 years for starting from January 1st, 2020 to today. $400,000 in super chats. Now, about a year ago, this number was like at 375. So it's gone down considerably. But you could see the money per day that comes out to be. It's every day. So the last 7 days, you ask, what did he make? Still made a respectable $1,200. These are some of his streams. 275, 267, 372, 350, 400, 120, 13, 106, 463, you know, still, these are still decent numbers. 411, 2, almost 4, 4. That's how he got to be that big on the list. Because when you do these streams, and these streams that he would do a year ago, they weren't making $300 and $400. They were making $1,400 and $1,500. I mean, people think I'm crazy. Look, the numbers don't lie. This is every day. When he was streaming consistently, $300, there's a $300. This is when he took a break. Right when he was having the fight with Jay in May. 250. See, I mean, if we had to average it out, I'd say every time he gets on stream, it's $300. So that means it's $200 after the fees. And we're not counting his memberships at all. But $200 a stream, hard cash money in your hand on average, every stream that you go to, no matter if you do it for 3 hours, no matter if you do it for 6, 7, 8 hours. That's still good money. I don't think Rich makes more than Gundam, though. I think if you were to keep quality content in the mix, definitely Gundam would make more than than Rich. Without quality content, and with him just doing about 2.5 million views a month, that's under $10,000. So he's still beating Rich, but maybe by just like 10 grand, 15 grand. Yeah, Rebound's got it, about 100K. And I mean, look at what he has to do for that 100K. And then ask yourself this question. Could you do that? Would you do that? Knowing how much he has to lose, has had to lose in order to get that money. Same with DSP too. They've had to endure a bunch of shit, rightfully so in many cases. And they do make good money when they're on the internet. But would you sacrifice pretty much your entire, at this point, when you're a loyal cow and you're leaning into it, you're not ever going to have a square job. You're never going to, things will be tough. Things will be a little bit tougher in your regular life because people will start to notice you for that. It's different when you're someone like me that doesn't get noticed on YouTube. It's like I can say do whatever I want. No one really cares. The only people that care would be like someone that looking at my background check for an Airbnb or something. It wouldn't even be for a loan because I don't take loans. So that's the only thing that ever could affect me about my online footprint and my real life footprint. But when you're to this point with a DSP or with a Rich or a Wings or a Boogie, I mean, they're all in it, baby. They can't pull out. There's no getting a square job. And they know it. And we know it too. We like to make fun of them saying, go get you a job. And technically, they probably could go get them a square job that doesn't involve the public, that's just like a, worker clipboard, go out, do it, and try to keep it away from the internet for as long as they possibly can. But most of these guys don't want to work a square job because they've seen how easy it is to make $100,000 a year. And he can still fire up a stream right now, either one of them, and clock in $200 a day. If you're like Phil, you do $200 a day, 6 days a week. That's his morning and night stream because he averages out probably about $100 for both. So 200 times 6, that's 1,200 times 4, that's 4,800, about 5 G's. The money he gets from YouTube for his catalog of tens of thousands of videos that make like a penny each is like $2,500. So he's closer to probably under $10,000 a month before taxes and before fees. So Phil's still making 6 figures, but if he were to pay his tax bill rather than giving it to the IRS in payments, then he would not be making 6 figures. And no, I do not give out loans. You don't want to be having me as a loan shark, because I'm gonna boost it down to the day. I'm gonna tell you how much you're gonna have to be paying a day. And when you start to come late on them, that's when the problems start happening. That's when the problems start happening and the excuses start coming out. And I didn't get my check this week and my bank account overdrawn, so I gotta wait. And this turns to that. Summer turns to fall. Sooner or later, you make that call and you say, hey, man, I'm not gonna be able to pay you this week. My fucking car radiator blew up on me, man. Jeez. That's why I don't give out loans, especially to friends. If I'm giving out money, it's a gift. It's like, here, happy birthday. I don't want to chase people around for a few $100, because that's what it ends up being. Most times, people that have irregular pay schedules and need, a little help, most of the time it's just them trying to catch up from behind, because responsible people aren't asking for weekly loans. I used to have a friend that I would do weekly loan with. He was a good enough friend that where he didn't have to leave around collateral, and where in the very beginning he was paying, and I didn't have to call him and be like, where are you at? For a month or two, it was fine. I bought him I paid for a vehicle, and it wasn't an expensive vehicle. It was like $2,200. But I had known him since high school, and he'd had a rough go of it. He had just come home. He did like 3 years for it was a weird crime. He had a girlfriend, and they used to fight a lot, and she was fucking her boss, and he found out and went up to the work where she was working as like a secretary or whatever at this shop. And dude comes out and he snatches his girlfriend up to try to protect her, pulling her out the door while he's waving this fucking crowbar in dude's face, right? And this is all captured on video. And I saw this because it was at the trial. And he's waving this fucking crowbar in this dude's face. He's fucking hitting shit on the wall with it and stuff. But he's like pissed off. And he's trying to think in his mind, he's like trying to save his girl. Well, come to find out, like, she don't want to be saved, of course. So when he calms down a few hours later and drops her off at her car, what does she do? She goes back to dude that she was fucking around with. He tells her, he said, if you don't call the cops right now and report this, then you're fucking fired, and I'm taking away your car and all this other little sugar daddy shit that he gave her. So what does she do? She went and put the book on him, and the motherfucker had a kidnapping case slapped on his ass. So even though I would not classify that as a kidnapping, the state of Alabama did. And he went away for 3 to 5. So long story short, I ended up giving him, buying him a car, a little shitty little Nissan Altima, $2,200. He ended up paying like $600 off of it. And then the excuses start coming out. The excuses start coming out. And y'all know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about excuses, when somebody is talking about owing you a little bit of money. And you don't want to hassle them. You just want them to be straight up. You got a problem this week and couldn't make it? Just tell me. Don't give me the fucking, man, what had happened was, see, like, this what happened to did. No, man. Just tell me you say you're short. That's all. But, of course, weeks go to months. Month turns into a year. Ain't paid a dime. Ain't heard from this dude. I ain't even thought about it because to me, it's like, it's not my car. All of a sudden, he calls up and he's like, man, you're not going to believe it. What, dude? I ain't heard from you in like a year. And this is you calling me up, and the first thing you ain't going to say is, I got your money? What is it this time? He fucking wrecked that car, y'all. He flipped that fucker. It's done. You're right, psycho. It was a gift when I gave it to him. I was surprised I got back to 600. But karma's a motherfucker because he ran that motherfucker off the road and flipped it over long ways. Not long ways, but sideways. So, yeah. And then he's calling to let me know, but what he was really calling to be like, if he could see about getting another fucking car. That's what he was really doing. How'd he wreck it? I give you one guess. I give you one guess. How do most people be wrecking their cars, running off the road and flipping over and shit? Let's just leave it at that. Ultima, yeah. He was trying to race it. Ding, 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 ding. Terabyte wins. Tell them what they won, Johnny. Ultimas are fucking death traps. You see an Ultima on the road that has like half a bumper and some fucking toe straps holding on the trunk and tape on not only the window, but like they made a tape door handle because the door handle's broke too. And then you look in there and all you see is like toys and shit in the back seat along with 2 baby seats. And in the front, you have like a stained floorboard from breast milk and those little goldfish things. And the thing smells like hot chips and McDonald's. So yes, every Ultima ever known to come off the line from Nissan. Yes. The Ultima. It's a hazard. The Ultima, then the 2005 Chevy Impala. Those cars should be registered as lethal weapons. Alana says she had a friend that died in a blue Subaru. Don't know the model name. Well, that's kind of ironic because Subarus were known for their safety. But I guess your friend, God bless him, didn't have the model with the safety. I'm not trying to be funny. Was it a BRZ? That's a good question. That's a good question. Also smells as Bath and Body. Yes, Bath and Body Works spray. Very much so. And it has a Victoria's Secret bag in the back, but it doesn't have Victoria's Secret in the bag. What's in the bag, you might ask? Simple. It's weave and glue. But if it's a ghetto white girl that's driving the Ultima, let me tell you exactly what's in the car. If it's a ghetto white girl, a redneck trailer park white girl, because she also, her favorite mode of transportation is the Nissan Altima as well. You know, it used to be the Sentra, but they bumped it up. And the thing about it is like the ones that actually have a little money, they do stay away from the Nissans, but they go dead ass to the Chargers. Scat packing up, baby. Ain't no RT in this motherfucking hood. But the ghetto white girls that drive Nissan Altimas, they're going to be your most deadly humans on the face of this earth. Like a ghetto white girl in sweatpants that say juicy on the back and a tank top that shows off her neck tattoo that she just got that says Jaquan's baby on the side with his face. She just had it done. And she's trying to find her keys, but they fell between the couch cushions and she can't pick them up because her 3-inch nails are getting in the way. You know, she looks like she has flipper hands. She's trying to grab her keys. It's flipper hands. Bloop, 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 bloop. Say, hey, bro. N-word, N-word. Where my motherfucking keys at, N-word? But Jessica, why are you saying N-word so much? You came from the suburbs. I ain't want to hear it. Nah, saying N-word. Damn, Jessica, you done fall off. Remember when you used to do ballet? Now you hold pistols in the Altima. Altimas are going to be like how tanks were to the soldiers in Vietnam. They're going to be like, man, we saw some shit in that Altima. Lil Red got shot, that motherfucker. Big JoJo had her baby in the back seat. Dawg, this motherfucker seen some shit. And it's only a 2013. Yeah, she bought it from the buy here, pay here place. But I paid for the rims, though. Those is 22s. N-word. Deuce. Front wheel drive. What? I gotta stop before I get fucking canceled. Little John from down the way got shot in the Altima. Dawg, didn't got my dude John. He was in the Impala. What you think they gonna do with them rims, though? He got them from the rental rim shop. They only cost $50 twice a week. Look at Captain talking major shit. Yes, Spud, but where is the lie? Women driving big rig trucks. I didn't know this was a thing. Seriously. I knew that there were like husband and wife couples that did long haul trucking, which, you know, that's been something forever, really. And but I didn't know if there was like single ladies, all the single ladies out there driving the rigs. I guess I should have known since the Pee Wee Herman movie, Large Marge. Like she's probably like she's probably the first woman truck driver to get any shine. And if y'all don't know who Large Marge is, do yourself a favor. Google it. Actually, I'll Google it for you. Large Marge. Who remembers Large Marge? And yes, we've all had a Jessica. That's why I use the name, because everyone would be like, damn, is he talking about her? He can't be talking about her. Who remembers Large Marge? Oh, Large Marge. From Pee-wee's Big Adventure. There it was. When I was a kid and I first saw this thing, I was fucking freaked. I ain't gonna lie. I really was looking like this. Wee. Chwee. I don't know. I might be calling this this stream pretty soon. My voice is getting a little bit Krazaki. But I did want to see. Yeah, Rich is already off. Damn it. I knew I waited too long. Well, what do y'all think? Leave it there for the night. Still going to have the stream on Wednesday. This was just a special stream. Unless y'all want to talk about anything else. Let me check the Streamlabs just one more time. Nope, we're all caught up on Super Chats. And again, I appreciate Saren and Ivana for the Super Chats tonight. Thank y'all so much. Who do y'all want to listen to sign off tonight? Snortwave, a little bit of Hard Archive. I got a couple more that y'all haven't heard yet. Captain, I would do it, but I don't have all the current stuff ready to go. I was going to save that for Wednesday anyway. Right now, it would just be me showing tweets and not in no order in particular. Talk about the Nux drama, same thing. It's too much to go into right now. I'll talk about it though, because I actually, I'm interested in the drama. I'm interested in how the Some Ordinary podcast, how that shakes out. But I haven't had the chance to sit down and watch it and like really know what's going on. I just know surface level. But they do streams that are like hours long. So to get context for that shit is a fucking chore and a half. Let me tell you. But before we go and I choose what we're going to play tonight, go ahead and hit the like button if you enjoyed me making a fool out of myself tonight, making fun of women that drive Altimas. But it's the truth, though. Find the lie. Find the lie. Nacho Cheese, I promise. Next stream, we'll get down on some Nux drama. I promise. What I'm really interested in is I need to DM Wendigoon and tell him if he would like a little bit more context. He actually could do a whole nother video, a part 2, if you will, to that with the amount of information that he skipped over on the FARC side. He did everything with the AUC, but he left out the FARC, and that's bigger than the AUC. And it's bigger because my father was murdered by them, so I hate them with a passion. And it doesn't piss me off, but it disappoints me when they don't name the FARC, because the FARC was really the ones that were the engine of the narco trafficking, you know. So Chiquita paying them off in the very beginning gave them an influx of cash that they needed at a time where they might have just disintegrated if not for that money. But with that money, they ended up buying weapons, recruiting more people. Gets bigger, gets bigger, gets bigger. And, you know, I'll talk about that another day when I've got the receipts that I could show you, because there's a lot. But that is women who drive Altimas give the sloppy hawk. That ain't no lie. That ain't no lie, though. That's probably one of the only things that I'll say is good about women that drive Altima is the toppy is good. The head will put you to bed. The brain might make you go insane. Her mouth will take you out. So, one thing to be aware of when you're out there and you're on a blind date and you're walking her to your car and you hit that corner and all of a sudden you see a 2003, what would be a gray Nissan Altima, but technically it's either Bondo or Rust. It has two of the original factory wheels, but one of them's in the trunk and one's on. The rest of them are mismatched chrome wheels. What do you do? She's banging though. She is banging, and she's driving, and y'all been drinking, and it's 12 miles to get to her house. There is a hot tub there because there's a hot tub at her apartment complex. But do you let her drive? Do you let her drive? Boba says it's not worth it. Sicko, it's not worth it. There's a lot of people that know the game. Sicko's running. Say no to 304s. But would they have to have glittery stickers in the back? Yes. That's almost like with the mark of the beast, you would say. Captain's like, no, it's worth it. Captain is an adventurous man. You can tell. But Captain also says strap during these encounters, I bet. I'm sure that Captain's not getting took. Like, don't get it twisted. They might have the best top this side of the Mason-Dixon. But they also will set your ass up in a heartbeat. Because her baby daddy just got done from doing 4. And he got a pistol from little JoJo. And that motherfucker's ready to put in work. So you show up in a Hellcat trying to flex on this little bitch in an Altima. You got a bus pass, homie. All right. Enough talking shit. Let me end this up. Snort Wave. We're doing Snort Wave tonight. Give me a song, Snort Wave. Give me a song. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me, baby, one more time. You got anything new? No, you don't have nothing new. We Kool-Aid Girl, Gout Walk, Eat It, the Dark Sea DeFil Flow. We got one for Gout Walk. Chuff Duck, I'm sorry. I'm like 3.5 hours into it. You could roll it back. We've had a great time tonight just talking shit. Earlier we did the review of June's video, tell you the truth. Not very engaging. A lot of the stuff that he led with is a little boring. By the time that we got into the drama itself, it was more of a chore than anything. And I feel a little bit worried that if he does come out with a 4-hour DSP doc, that it might have the same effect where there's just so much information, but it's tiered in a way that you don't really know what is more important than the other. Because you've got doxing and like underage kids right next to each other, or like BBC having a dispute next to hacking. It's weird. The tone is a little off, in my opinion. Okay, we've got Eat It, Kool-Aid Girl, Eat It, Gout Walk. Bubba says mid-30s dating a Toyota Corolla girl. Yeah, Toyota Corolla, good gas mileage. It was a 5-speed, marry her, because she is so practical. She probably goes out and kills her food. That goes for anyone out there. If you meet a woman in 2024 and you're younger, you're in your 20s or your 30s, and she shows up in a 5 or 6 speed, marry her. That's all. Okay, Eat It, Kool-Aid Girl, 80s mix, sound like Eat It. All right, we'll do Eat It. Let's do Eat It. Eat it. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for a little bit. Let me get a little goofy. Blackhawk Pearl, the ultimate DSP doc. Banned, brother. You ain't never coming back in here, bish.
How about this? Banned. Gone forever.
That's right, y'all. Gone forever. Thank you for coming out. And I will see you very soon.
Give me your mailing address. I want to mail you a spoon so you can eat shit out of my fucking ass. I'm tired of people saying that because I am who I am, I can't say a factual observation. Shut the fuck up. Who? Eat it. Kiss my fucking ass and lick my ball. Eat it. Fucking eat it. Oh, he's doing it to me. Oh, this is strange. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. I am fucking based. Lick my ball. Eat it. Fucking eat it. Shut the fuck up. Take your fucking ass and eat it. Eat it. Kiwi Farms. I want to mail you a spoon on a daily fucking basis. Phil's a racist. Phil's a sexist. Phil's this. Phil's that. I am who I am. I am fucking based. Eat it. Kiss my fucking ass and lick my ball. Eat it. Fucking eat it. Oh, he's doing it to me. Oh, this is strange. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. I am fucking based. Eat it. Fucking eat it. Shut the fuck up. I am who I am. Eat it. Eat it. And I had a segment where I got incredibly animated and emotional and upset because people on the internet tend to think that because a lot of people make fun of him and call him a lolcow or whatever, that apparently I don't have the right to state facts.
See y'all on Wednesday. Beep, 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 beep.